Welcome to the fantasy audiobook, Hokage, Saving Uchiha starting with the loot attributes. Chapter 81, Kakashi, Lin, are you all right? Uchiha Obito shouted a few words into the mist, but got no response. As time went by, the screams gradually disappeared, and the atmosphere was extremely depressing. Asshole, get out of here! Uchiha Obito shouted angrily, and his hands tightly holding the kunai began to tremble. This feeling of dying at any time made his body begin to become a little out of control. On the other side, Hokage Kakashi desperately fought with the ninja from the Hidden Mist village in front of him. He knew that if he wanted to defeat the opponent, he must not let the opponent hide in the thick fog again. You are quite strong, kid. I hope your other companions can have the same power as you, otherwise they may have been solved by my other two companions now. Hearing the whispers of the Hidden Mist village ninja, Hokage Kakashi became a little impatient. Although he knew that the other party was trying to disrupt his rhythm, Kakashi still couldn't help but feel a little desperate when he heard that the other party had two companions. The weakest person who could carry out such a mission with the Jonin was a Chunin. In such an environment, could Obito and Rin cope? No, it should be said. Are they still alive? Kid, you finally showed a flaw. The knife flashed, and a cut was made on Kakashi Hotake's arm. The ninja from the Hidden Mist village also took the opportunity to disappear in the thick fog. Nohara Rin helplessly pressed her back against the supply car, holding the kunai tightly in both hands. In this depressing atmosphere, she felt that her heart was about to jump out. She was not good at fighting in the first place, and now she could not detect the enemy's position at all. Now she had only one thought in her mind. I will die. I will definitely die if I continue like this. At this moment, more than a dozen shurikens rushed out of the thick fog. Nohara Rin dodged quickly, but she was still a little slow to react, and was hit by several shurikens on her thigh, abdomen and arm. Nohara Rin struggled to stand up, her eyes full of despair. Under the cover of thick fog, when she noticed the shurikens, it was too late to react. Feeling the wounds on her body bleeding continuously, Nohara Rin, a medical ninja, did not dare to use the palm fairy technique to treat it. At this time, a slight distraction may be the end of death. But as time went by, Nohara Rin's face gradually turned pale due to blood loss. Finally, her mind was in a trance for a moment. At this time, the ninja of the Hidden Mist village who had been hiding in the thick fog immediately launched an attack. The long sword was shining with cold light, and it slashed at Nohara Rin's neck. Is it going to die? Nohara Rin murmured, preparing to welcome the arrival of death. She no longer had the strength to avoid the enemy's attack. The long sword was getting closer and closer to her neck, and Nohara Rin could even see the hideous smile on the enemy's face. Chirp chirp. The sound of chirping birds rang out, and a boy suddenly appeared in front of Nohara Rin at a very fast speed. The lightning illuminated the boy's handsome face, and Nohara Rin's mouth opened wide in an instant. Future. Before Nohara Rin could finish her words, the boy had disappeared. On the ground, the ninja from the Hidden Mist village was twitching on the ground, covering his broken neck. Seeing this scene, Nohara Rin couldn't help but kneel on the ground. I don't know why, although she has been rescued, she feels that her heartbeat is more intense than just now. A few seconds later, wind style, typhoon passes. The fierce wind instantly blew away the thick fog. The sun shone again, and the surrounding environment became clear again. Nohara Rin widened her eyes in horror. There were several bodies scattered on the ground. Each body had its eyes open, as if they had died with their eyes open. Nohara Rin quickly got up from the ground, checked the bodies one by one, and finally sighed helplessly. There was no hope. Not far away, Uchiha Mirai broke the neck of the last Kurigakure ninja, and a trace of apology appeared on his face. I'm so sorry, I'm a little late. But, heroes always have to appear later. Hokage Kakashi walked up and looked at Uchiha Mirai with gratitude in his eyes. Mirai, you saved us again. After saying that, he looked at the Kurigakure ninja on the ground who had just had his neck broken. The opponent almost forced him into a desperate situation, but he didn't even last a second in Uchiha Mirai's hands. This guy, what has he grown to now? Ah, Rin. As soon as Uchiha Obito got up from the ground, he rushed to Nohara Rin's side. Seeing Nohara Rin injured, Uchiha Obito clenched his fists angrily, the hateful fools of Kurigakure. Obito, I'm fine. Nohara Rin replied to Obito, and then dragged her injured body to Uchiha Mirai. Mirai, thank you very much. If it weren't for you. Nohara Rin still had some lingering fears. If Uchiha Mirai was 1 second later, she might have been a corpse now. It's okay, I'll heal you first. Uchiha Mirai smiled faintly and put his hand on Nohara Rin's leg. The next second, a green light appeared. Nohara Rin's wounds were visibly healed. Wow, Mirai, you can actually do medical ninjutsu. Nohara Rin exclaimed. The palm magic that Uchiha Mirai just performed was much better than hers. How come this man knows everything? In response to Nohara Rin's exclamation, Uchiha Mirai casually said, it's good to have many skills. It's always good to learn more. Hokage Kakashi, who was standing by, had a flash of confusion in his eyes after hearing what Uchiha Mirai said. No, brother, you didn't tell me that at the time. Uchiha Obito almost bit his teeth off. This fool actually dared to. I should have learned some medical ninjutsu earlier. Huh, Obito, your eyes. Nohara Rin looked at Uchiha Obito with a look of surprise on her face. Hokage Kakashi also showed a look of surprise in his eyes. Looking at the expressions of the two, Uchiha Obito rubbed his eyes in a strange way. What's wrong? Nohara Rin took out a small mirror from the ninja tool bag. Look for yourself. Uchiha Obito took the mirror and his eyes suddenly widened. He actually opened his eyes. Ha 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 ha, I finally opened my eyes, so great. Uchiha Obito put his hands on his hips and laughed a few times, then swept his eyes over Hokage Kakashi and Uchiha Mirai, and said loudly, just wait, it won't be long before I can surpass you. Hokage Kakashi rolled his eyes, idiot. Uchiha Mirai said indifferently. One Magatama Sharingan, so powerful. Obito, look at my eyes. A pair of Mangekyo Sharingan with terrifying pupil power appeared, and the smile on Uchiha Obito's face stopped abruptly. Asshole, are you showing off to me? Uchiha Mirai nodded. Yes, are you envious? Ah, you hateful guy. Looking at Uchiha Obito who stamped his feet in anger, Uchiha Mirai frowned. Keep your voice down, don't affect my treatment of Lin. After that, Uchiha Mirai put his hand from Nohara Rin's leg to the other's lower abdomen. Seeing this scene, Uchiha Obito wanted to cry but had no tears. I really want to kill this fool. After treating the injuries of Nohara Rin and others, Uchiha Mirai simply went with them. Otherwise, with the current state of these people, if they are attacked by the Kurigakur ninjas again, they will be in danger. Mirai, is it really okay for you to go with us? Nohara Rin asked with some concern. Generally speaking, tasks such as ninja support for the front line are very urgent tasks and cannot be delayed at all. If I escort these supplies with them, it will be troublesome if I delay time. In response, Uchiha Mirai just waved his hand. Don't worry, the village can't do anything to me. Well, hearing Uchiha Mirai's answer, Nohara Rin always felt that the other party seemed to have used the wrong words. It should be more appropriate to say, the village won't do anything to me, right? Seeing his goddess chatting with other men, Uchiha Obito said with some dissatisfaction, Uchiha Mirai, if you have a mission, just go ahead. Now I have opened the power of Sharingan. When I meet those Kurigakur ninjas again, I will definitely be able to defeat them all. Hearing Uchiha Obito's declaration, Uchiha Mirai snorted coldly. Obito, I don't expect you to be grateful, but at least don't treat your savior with this attitude, right? Hearing this, Uchiha Obito clenched his fists unconvinced. Who asked you to save me? Uchiha Mirai glanced at Uchiha Obito. You don't need me to save you, what about Lin? Because of your incompetence, Lin was almost killed. Hearing this, Uchiha Obito finally calmed down. Nohara Rin saw that the atmosphere was a bit dull, and took the initiative to explain, Future, Obito's personality is like this. He is actually a very gentle and grateful person in his heart. Uchiha Mirai smiled. Gentle at heart, so he teamed up with Uchiha Itachi to exterminate the Uchiha clan. Knowing to repay a favor, he put a detonating tag on Naruto's swaddling clothes and forcibly pulled the 9 tails out of Uzumaki Kushina's body. However, thinking of Uzumaki Kushina's appearance, Uchiha Mirai still reminded her, I protect you because Kushina specifically asked me to do so. Although she is in the village, she is very concerned about you. Especially you, Obito, Kushina is most worried about you. After hearing Uchiha Mirai's words, Uchiha Obito muttered softly, really, I'm not that bad. Seeing Uchiha Obito's appearance, Uchiha Mirai didn't plan to say anything more. What the other party's ending will be depends on his own choice. Eastern border. In the dense forest not far from the seaside. Thick fog filled the entire forest, and there were more than a dozen corpses lying on the ground, looking like they had just experienced a tragic battle. A dozen Uchiha wearing Konoha ninja forehead guards stood back to back. Fire style. Great fireball technique. A dozen people performed fire-style ninjutsu at the same time, and in an instant, the thick fog of several meters around them was burned away. Taking advantage of this gap, several Uchiha clan members retreated quickly. Unfortunately, in just a short moment, the thick fog covered everything around again. Seeing this, an Uchiha clan member gritted his teeth and said, Master Fugaku, you take the people to go first, we will hold them back. Uchiha Fugaku shook his head. No, we must go together. Master Fugaku, you are the next clan leader of the Uchiha clan, you must not die here. Yes, retreat quickly, otherwise we can't leave. Master Fugaku, now is not the time to be indecisive, we will use our lives to help you stop the ninjas from the hidden mist village. Looking at the clan members who were ready to die, Uchiha Fugaku was a little overwhelmed for a while. Seeing him like this, an older Uchiha ninja said in a deep voice, Inahori, Tiehuo, Yashura, you three must bring Fugaku back successfully. Yes, the three young ninjas immediately stood beside Uchiha Fugaku. The rest of you stand in a row and don't let anyone pass. Yes, the thick fog gradually thinned. Uchiha Fugaku has forgotten how he managed to break out of the Kurigaku's encirclement. His mind is now filled with the screams of his clansmen before they died. Uchiha Fugaku is filled with remorse. If he hadn't been greedy and reckless, they would never have fallen into the Kurigaku's ambush, let alone the current situation. Nearly 30 people, but only 4 escaped in the end. Those who followed him were all elite ninjas of the Uchiha clan. A strong emotion continued to spread in Uchiha Fugaku's mind. Uchiha Fugakuyu's eyes also began to spin rapidly. Soon, the three originally pitch-black Magatama connected together, outlining a complex and mysterious pattern. Mangekyo Sharingan. The strong impact brought by opening his eyes made Uchiha Fugaku unable to hold on any longer, and his eyes turned black and he fainted. When he opened his eyes again, Uchiha Fugaku found that he had returned to the Konoha camp. My eyes. Recalling the scenes that happened before he fainted, Uchiha Fugaku picked up a mirror and immediately saw his 3 Magatama Sharingan. With a thought, Uchiha Fugaku's eyes were outlined in the shape of a Mangekyo Sharingan. Is this the true power of the Uchiha clan? Feeling the powerful pupil power, Uchiha Fugaku muttered to himself. Now he finally understood why the third Hokage and others were so afraid of the Uchiha clan. Under the power of these eyes, he even felt omnipotent. This power must be hidden well, otherwise the Sandaime and the others will definitely not let it go. Uchiha Fugaku closed his eyes and made a decision in his heart instantly. He must not let anyone know that he had opened the Mangekyo Sharingan. At this moment, there was a knock on the door. Master Fugaku, are you awake? Hearing this, Uchiha Fugaku said in a deep voice, come in. Looking at Uchiha Yashura who came in, Uchiha Fugaku stood up from the bed. Are Inahori and the others okay? Uchiha Yashura nodded. We are all fine. Only those clansmen who stayed behind didn't come back. After hearing what Uchiha Yashura said, Uchiha Fugaku clenched his fists. I will make those ninjas from the Hidden Mist village pay the price. Master Fugaku, there is one more thing. Looking at Uchiha Yashura, Uchiha Fugaku asked casually, what is it? During the time you were unconscious, Uchiha Mirai has come to the camp. What? Uchiha Fugaku's eyes condensed. Uchiha Mirai. If it weren't for this guy, how could the Uchiha clan fall to this point? Mirai-sama, I didn't expect that the ninja who came to support this time was you. It's really surprising. Yes, if Mirai-sama is here, we will definitely be able to defeat those guys in Kurigaku. I heard that Mirai-sama has opened the legendary Mangekyo Sharingan. He is the pride of our Uchiha clan. In the camp, all the ninjas of the Uchiha clan looked at Uchiha Mirai respectfully, with smiles from the heart on their faces. Uchiha Mirai's performance on the battlefield of Sand Village has been spread among the Uchiha clan. Everyone knows that the young ninja in front of them has opened the legendary Mangekyo Sharingan. And Uchiha Mirai also showed godlike power on the battlefield of Sand Village with the help of Mangekyo Sharingan, and defeated the ninjas of Sand Village in one fell swoop. This performance makes every Uchiha ninja proud. Uchiha Mirai has also become the object of admiration of many Uchiha clan members. Defeat the Raikage, kill the 7 ninja swordsmen, kill Rasa, open the Mangekyo Sharingan. Perhaps the time for the Uchiha clan to regain its glory is coming again. After greeting everyone, Uchiha Mirai walked into the conference hall. He didn't expect that the Uchiha clan, who usually seemed to be taciturn, would have such a passionate side. As soon as he sat down, a figure strode in. Uchiha Mirai. Seeing Uchiha Fugaku's face, Uchiha Mirai said lightly, "Fugaku, why do I feel like you don't welcome me?" Uchiha Fugaku snorted coldly. "You are the sinner of the Uchiha clan, and you still want me to welcome you?" Oh, Uchiha Mirai raised his eyebrows and looked at Uchiha Fugaku in confusion. "Why am I the sinner of the Uchiha clan again?" Hearing this, Uchiha Fugaku said angrily, "If you hadn't killed the 7 ninja swordsmen, would the Hidden Mist Village have launched a war against Konoha? If the Hidden Mist Village hadn't launched a war, could the 3rd generation have used the excuse that the 7 ninja swordsmen were killed by Uchiha ninjas to send us to the battlefield?" Uchiha Fugaku became more and more angry as he spoke. If Uchiha Mirai hadn't been too ostentatious, how could he have aroused the 3rd generation's vigilance so quickly? After quietly looking at Uchiha Fugaku for a few seconds, Uchiha Mirai sighed, "Fugaku, you are really a softie." Uchiha Fugaku was stunned for a moment. "What did you say?" Uchiha Mirai snorted coldly. "I said you were a softie. Asshole." Uchiha Fugaku was furious and punched Uchiha Mirai. From childhood to adulthood, no one has ever dared to talk to him like this except his strict father. However, before his fist fell, Uchiha Fugaku felt a cramp in his stomach and couldn't help bending down. Then, Uchiha Fugaku felt that he was picked up and thrown to the ground. Bang! With a huge muffled sound, Uchiha Fugaku lay on the ground and couldn't help groaning. The ninja outside the door heard the noise and ran in immediately. However, when they saw Uchiha Fugaku lying on the ground and Uchiha Mirai sitting beside him with a calm expression, they all froze in their places. "What's going on? You guys go out, no one is allowed to come in without my order." Looking at the ninjas looking at each other, Uchiha Mirai snorted coldly, and the powerful power of the Mangekyo Sharingan overflowed. "What? Do you want to disobey me? Don't dare, we'll leave now." Feeling the huge pressure from Uchiha Mirai, several guards looked at Uchiha Fugaku and left the room obediently. After everyone left, Uchiha Mirai turned his attention to Uchiha Fugaku. "Fugaku, you should have opened your Mangekyo Sharingan, right?" Uchiha Fugaku was stunned for a moment. "How do you know?" Uchiha Mirai said lightly, "After the Mangekyo Sharingan is opened, the Sharingan will not be able to be closed automatically for a period of time." Uchiha Fugaku was shocked. He did not expect that his biggest secret would be exposed like this. Seeing his appearance, Uchiha Mirai thought about it and softened his tone. "Fugaku, showing weakness to the Konoha high-level officials will only lead the Uchiha clan to destruction little by little. Those guys are born with prejudice against the Uchiha clan. They are afraid of our power, so they think about killing us every day. Only by showing your fist can you make Sarutobi Hiruzen and others afraid to act rashly." After hearing Uchiha Mirai's words, Uchiha Fugaku got up from the ground and said in a deep voice, "You're wrong. Once the Uchiha clan shows that they are not under the control of the village, they will be purged by the village immediately." Quote, "The power of the Uchiha clan will never be enough to fight against the village. My eyes can see the future clearly." Uchiha Mirai shook his head. "Most of the ninjas in the village are just fence-sitters. They will help whoever wins. The power of the Mangekyo Sharingan I showed is enough for them to choose to wait and see when a conflict occurs. And I have a way to win over all those ninjas." Uchiha Fugaku sneered. "Huh. How many secrets can you know with your vision? Using the power of the Mangekyo Sharingan has a price. If you consume your pupil power like you do, you will be permanently blind in no time. From now on, face the reality and don't bring any more harm to the Uchiha clan. Quote. Uchiha Mirai lost the last bit of patience, looked at Uchiha Fugaku with disappointment, then stood up and walked outside. Cicadas that only live in summer can never understand the coldness of winter. Fugaku, the Uchiha clan will, under my leadership, trample all enemies that stand in their way. Be a good mascot and don't go against me. Uchiha Mirai stopped, his tone full of murderous intent. If you go against the will of heaven, you still have a glimmer of hope. If you go against me, you will surely die. Bang! Closing the door, Uchiha Mirai glanced at the crowd gathered outside the door and waved his hand gently. Everyone has worked hard during this period of time. From today on, the offense and defense will change. Quote. Hearing Uchiha Mirai's declaration, all the Konoha ninjas present showed excitement on their faces. After being bullied by the Hidden Mist village for so long, is it finally time for a counterattack? Thinking of Uchiha Mirai's performance in the battlefields of the Hidden Cloud Village and the Hidden Sand Village, everyone began to look forward to it. Can this dazzling young man continue his previous glory here? Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Amaterasu. Listening to the prompt of the system in his mind, Uchiha Mirai's mouth curled up slightly. Amaterasu. It's a good eye technique. It seems that even Uchiha Fugaku can create some value. The next morning, Hotake Kakashi, Uchiha Obito, and Nohara Rin came to find Uchiha Mirai early. Mirai, we are going back to the village today. Nohara Rin's tone was a little lost, and she didn't seem to be very interested. Uchiha Mirai frowned strangely. Have you received a new mission? Hotake Kakashi nodded. Yes, but we can't reveal the content of the mission. Uchiha Obito walked in front of Uchiha Mirai and snorted proudly. This time we received an S-level confidential mission. Wait, it won't be long before we can become the hero of the village. Hearing this, Uchiha Mirai immediately thought of something. The S-level mission that Kakashi's team can perform during this period should be the mission of blowing up the Canopy Bridge in the original work. Thinking of this, Uchiha Mirai couldn't help but remind him, S-level missions are extremely dangerous, especially at this time. You must be careful. In the original work, Hotake Kakashi's left eye was cut by the ninja Oishi of the Hidden Rock Village when he was performing the mission of Canopy Bridge. Nohara Rin almost lost her life. Uchiha Obito even started his dark path in this battle. What's more, now because of his butterfly effect, many things in the ninja world have deviated from the development trajectory in the original work, so Uchiha Mirai doesn't know what kind of experience Kakashi and others will have this time. Don't worry, Mirai, I will take good care of them both. Hotake Kakashi looked at Uchiha Mirai and said seriously. Uchiha Mirai taught him a lot of truths, and he also untied his own knot. No matter what happens, he will not give up his companions. After hearing what Hotake Kakashi said, Uchiha Obito's mouth curled up slightly, but he habitually retorted, Tisk. Kakashi, stop bragging here. After opening the Sharingan, I am completely different from before. If you hold me back, I will not let you off easily. In response, Kakashi made his own simple and clear comment, idiot. Ha, Kakashi, you keep scolding. What do you want, crybaby? I must beat you to death today. Take off your goggles before you brag, at least that way you won't look so childish. Ah, Nohara Rin surprisingly ignored the quarrel between Hotake Kakashi and Uchiha Obito, and looked at Uchiha Mirai with a complicated look. After a long time, she came to Uchiha Mirai as if she had mustered up the courage. Mirai, we are leaving soon, and I don't know if we can come back alive this time. Can I hug you? After hearing what Nohara Rin said, Uchiha Mirai opened his mouth in surprise. He never thought that Nohara Rin would take the initiative to ask him for this. Obviously, the two of them didn't have much interaction. However, Uchiha Mirai didn't have any idea of refusing. He opened his arms and gently hugged Nohara Rin, chuckling, you will definitely come back alive, I believe you. After that, he took out a sealing scroll from his arms. It is sealed with the eternal black flame. If you encounter troubles that cannot be solved, summon it. Be careful not to hurt yourself. The warm man is ranked behind the dog, but if the girl takes the initiative to show her kindness, it is also right to care more. Let go of Nohara Rin, Uchiha Mirai suddenly felt that the surroundings were a little unusually quiet. He looked up and found that Hatake Kakashi and Uchiha Obito were staring at him blankly. Don't get me wrong, I just don't want to go against a woman's will. Alas, there are really not many boys as considerate as me. By the way, don't talk nonsense when you go out. Of course, I'm not afraid that Hong will cause trouble for me, I'm just afraid that other girls will not be able to help but come to me for a hug if they know. Looking at Uchiha Mirai's serious face, Hatake Kakashi suddenly felt enlightened. It turns out that dirty talk can be said like this. Thinking of this, Hatake Kakashi couldn't help but walked forward and said with a smile, Mirai, you talk so interestingly, can you teach me? Uchiha Mirai curled his lips. This thing is innate, it can't be taught. Seeing this, Hatake Kakashi quietly took out a book from his arms. I'll exchange this with you. Looking at the scantily clad little man on the cover of the book, Uchiha Mirai's face changed. You use this kind of thing to bribe cadres. I read the spring and autumn annals. After saying that, he snatched the book from Kakashi's hand and put it in his arms. Let's stop here and see you next time. Looking at Uchiha Mirai who left without looking back, Hatake Kakashi wanted to cry but had no tears. It was really a big loss for both the lady and the soldiers. Let's go too. Looking at Uchiha Obito who was in despair from the beginning, Hatake Kakashi patted his shoulder. Obito, give up. You can't win. Uchiha Obito came back to his senses and secretly glanced at Nohara Rin who was grinning next to him. The Scarlet One Magatama Sharingan began to slowly turn. The Land of Fire. On the front battlefield, more than a dozen Konoha village ninjas hid behind a dirt slope, their eyes full of despair. Hasn't the support arrived yet? I can't hold on any longer. Is this the end? I can't accept this. The chakra and ninja tools are almost all used up, let's prepare to fight to the death. Looking at the huge crowd of Kurigakure ninjas in front of them, more than a dozen Konoha ninjas were ready to give it a try. But when they looked up, they found that dozens of Kurigakure ninjas in front of them were simultaneously forming seals, water style, waterfall technique. The water style released by dozens of people together was like the surging waves in the sea, sweeping over the sky and earth. Seeing this scene, the hearts of the Konoha ninjas sank completely. The other side didn't even give them a chance to fight to the death. With such a powerful water style coming over, they would probably be smashed into meat patties in an instant. Crash! The water waves rushed up to the sky and smashed down with unparalleled power. At this moment, countless gold dust came from afar and blocked the Konoha ninjas firmly. Boom! The water waves collided with the gold dust, making a loud noise. Even the earth trembled slightly, but the gold dust blocking the top was still indestructible. After a few seconds, everything calmed down. A boy with an indifferent expression sat on the gold dust and slowly fell from the sky. Then, countless gold dusts, as if they had received an order, all poured into the small gourd on the boy's waist. Seeing this scene, the Konoha ninjas all showed shocked expressions on their faces. He actually blocked the attack just now with his own strength. It's really too strong. And the appearance just now was a bit too handsome. So handsome, he even blocked an attack like that just now. How come we didn't know that there was a ninja with this ability in the village before? You guys have been on the front line, so it's normal that you didn't know. This is Uchiha Mirai-sama, a strong man who has risen strongly in the village in the past year. Is he a ninja from the Uchiha clan? He doesn't look very old. Anyway, since Mirai-sama has come to support us, we are safe. Many Konoha ninjas present showed the joy of surviving a disaster. They have heard the story of Uchiha Mirai more than once. He was the biggest contributor who led the village to defeat the Hidden Cloud Village and the Hidden Sand Village. Although they are now besieged by the Hidden Mist Village ninjas, the Mist ninjas with only about 100 people are definitely not the opponents of Uchiha Mirai-sama. Only a small number of ninjas who didn't know the truth were a little puzzled when they saw the excitement and happiness on their companions' faces. Obviously only one person came to support them. Why do they feel like they have won? Uchiha Mirai slowly landed on the earth slope, turned around and said to the Konoha ninjas behind him, "Leave those guys to me, don't move here, I will take you back alive." The confident look made the Konoha ninjas excitedly shout, "Yes, Mr. Mirai." Seeing Uchiha Mirai walking alone towards the Kurigakure ninjas in front, someone couldn't help but say, "Anyway, this is a bit too much, he went up alone." That's more than 100 elite ninjas from the Kurigakure. Hearing his companion's doubts, a Konoha ninja who had seen Uchiha Mirai fight on the battlefield of Sand Village snorted coldly, "Idiot, this is Mirai-sama. Just open your eyes and watch later, it will definitely make you drop your jaw." "Maybe." The ninja's face showed a trace of longing. "Maybe you can also see the legendary power of the Uchiha clan. The power of the Uchiha clan's god. Can you win?" "Guaranteed." The ninja of Kurigakure became nervous when he saw his attack was blocked. Could it be that Konoha's reinforcements have arrived? At this moment, they saw a figure walking towards them slowly. This made the ninjas of Kurigakure a little confused. "What's going on? Why is there only one kid here? Are you bluffing? Do you want us to retreat this way? What a joke. Even if you want to send someone to cover us, you can't just send one kid here. Are you looking down on us? Let's go together and get rid of this kid. We can't let the other Konoha ninjas get away. Kill." The ninjas of Kurigakure picked up their weapons and rushed towards Uchiha Mirai. Seeing this, Uchiha Mirai's dark eyes instantly turned into Scarlet Mangekyo Sharingan. His steps became faster and faster, and he rushed into the camp of Kurigakure ninjas head-on. Bang! He kicked the Kurigakure ninja in the front away, and his chest collapsed instantly. It was obvious that he was dead. At this time, the attacks of the other Kurigakure ninjas had already surrounded him. Uchiha Mirai snorted, and his pair of Mangekyo Sharingan easily saw through all the attacks. He dodged them easily and snatched a kunai from a mist ninja, slashing his throat. Hearing the sound of the burning fire, Uchiha Mirai threw the kunai with the detonating tag into the crowd. Boom! The detonating tag exploded, and several mist ninjas were immediately blown into a bloody mist. Bang! 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 Uchiha Mirai rushed left and right in the mist ninja crowd, killing everyone in one blow. In just a few minutes, dozens of Mist Village ninjas had been killed. "I'll kill you." The Mist Village elite ninja in charge of the command rushed to Uchiha Mirai with a kunai, but froze in place the moment he saw the Mangekyo Sharingan. Uchiha Mirai grabbed the neck of the Mist Village elite ninja and slowly lifted him up. "Do you want to dance too?" Click. With a crisp sound, an elite Jonin who was one of the top ninjas in the entire ninja world fell. Seeing this scene, the bloodthirsty and cruel ninjas from the hidden Mist Village actually showed a look of horror on their faces. "This guy is not a human. Everyone, retreat quickly. You will die. If you don't leave, you will be killed. I must go back and tell the information here to the Mizukage-sama." Seeing that the ninjas from the hidden Mist Village had lost their fighting spirit, Uchiha Mirai snorted. A huge Susanoo instantly appeared in the center of the battlefield. With a swing of the long sword, the huge sword energy instantly tore all the surrounding Mist Village ninjas to pieces. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Chakra +1. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Constitution +1. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Corpse Vein. Opening square bracket comma closing square bracket. Listening to a series of system prompts in his mind, Uchiha Mirai raised his eyebrows in surprise. Unexpectedly, there was an unexpected surprise this time. Among the ninjas just killed, are there any ninjas from the Kagaya clan? After untying Susanoo, Uchiha Mirai came to the hiding place of the Konoha ninjas. "Hurry up and clean up the battlefield. I'll leave first." All the Konoha ninjas looked at Uchiha Mirai in awe, bowed and nodded, "Yes, sir." After Uchiha Mirai left, except for the ninja who had seen Susanoo once on the battlefield of Sand Village, the rest of the Konoha ninjas all showed shocked expressions on their faces. Gulu. It's over just like that, all the ninjas from the hidden Mist Village are dead. As the demon statue just now, the power of the Uchiha clan god. Too strong, just one strike killed dozens of mist ninjas. Only the tailed beast can do this, right? I really can't believe that the mist ninja who forced us into a desperate situation was crushed to death like an ant. Looking at the unbelievable expressions on the faces of his companions, the ninja who had been shocked once couldn't help but laugh triumphantly. On the battlefield of Sand Village, when he first saw Susanoo, he looked almost exactly like his companions now. Mr. Future saved him again. If possible, he really wanted to follow a ninja like Mr. Future all the time. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but say, Now you know, with the support of Mr. Future, it's only a matter of time before the ninjas of Kurigakure fail. So, be grateful to Mr. Future, they gave us a chance to be reborn again. Uchiha Mirai did not return to the camp, but came to an empty area alone. In the previous battle, he got a lot of rewards, so he came to this place where no one would appear. After all, counting the gains after the war has always been his favorite part, and he doesn't want to be disturbed by other things. Panel. Uchiha Mirai's mind moved, and a translucent sky blue panel appeared in front of him. Name: Uchiha Mirai. Physique: 1087. Spiritual power: 1023. Chakra: 1028. Bloodline limit: Mangekyo Sharingan. Magnet style: Gold Sand. Scorch style: Corpse Veins. Ninjutsu. Others. Looking at his attribute panel, Uchiha Mirai felt a strong sense of satisfaction. I still remember that at the beginning, except for mental power, his various attributes were still in the single digit. In less than 2 years, all of them have exceeded 1,000. He has also obtained the Mangekyo Sharingan that he has been thinking about, and he also has 2 very powerful eye techniques. As for other ninjutsu, bloodline limits, secret techniques, etc., they are countless. This kind of full sense of security is simply too satisfying. After a quick look at the panel, Uchiha Mirai focused all his attention on his eyes. After his mental power reached 1,000, he could clearly feel that his eyes had made another qualitative leap. It was as if he had evolved again, and his pupil power had greatly improved. Uchiha Mirai couldn't help but murmured, "Did it evolve to the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan?" Then, Uchiha Mirai shook his head again. "No, it's not just that. The boundary between the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and the Mangekyo Sharingan is not very clear. Judging from the pupil power and the fact that he will never go blind, his Mangekyo Sharingan should have reached the threshold of the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan long ago. Even if it was the complete Susanoo, he could easily open it not long after opening the Mangekyo Sharingan. Now it has evolved again, it must be more than just evolving to the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan." After closing his eyes and feeling it carefully, Uchiha Mirai opened his eyes. He could feel that his eyes had indeed reached the requirements for another evolution, but because some conditions were not met, it was just a simple surge of pupil power. Above the Mangekyo Sharingan. After a long time, Uchiha Mirai's eyes gradually became clear, Samsara Eye. After his mental power reached 1,000 points, his eyes were likely to have evolved into the Samsara Eye, but the evolution of the Samsara Eye required the power of the all-seeing. Before obtaining this power, even if his mental power reached it, his eyes could only be temporarily in the form of the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. It seems that after the Third Ninja World War is over, I need to find an opportunity to obtain the power of the all-seeing. After figuring it out, Uchiha Mirai no longer struggled. For him, it was not particularly difficult to obtain the power of the all-seeing. Then, Uchiha Mirai set his sights on the corpse bone vein that he had just obtained. As the blood limit possessed by Kimimaro in the original work, the corpse bone vein performed very well. When watching Naruto, apart from the battle between Shaoli and Gaara, the battle between Kimimaro and Gaara left a deep impression on him. In the early stage, it was so handsome. After Uchiha Mirai felt it, he thought about it and a pure white bone knife came out from his palm. Holding the bone knife, Uchiha Mirai casually chopped it on the saber. Ding! With a crisp sound, Uchiha Mirai's saber broke directly in the middle. Not bad power. Uchiha Mirai nodded with satisfaction. This saber was still the weapon given to him by Uchiha Fugaku. It was a chakra ninja tool. After going through so many battles with him, it didn't even have a curled blade. But now it was cut off by the bone knife he made. However, with his current physical strength, it is not surprising that this happened. Putting back the bone knife, Uchiha Mirai walked towards the direction of the Konoha camp. Today's harvest is good, but it is far from enough. Next, it's time to work towards the next stage. The Hidden Mist Village. On an island near the Land of Fire. Kujiya Yagura looked at the intelligence scroll in his hand with a gloomy face. The front line, which was originally progressing smoothly, has actually been retreating in recent days. In just a few days, the number of ninja casualties in the war has reached nearly 1,000. 1,000 ninjas may not be too many for other ninja villages, but for the Hidden Mist village, it is already a terrifying number. Many clan leaders have expressed dissatisfaction with him. If this continues, the Hidden Mist village may be the first to go into civil strife. It seems that you have to do it yourself. Quote. Looking at the portrait of Uchiha Mirai on the intelligence scroll, a sinister look appeared on the baby face of Goji Yagura. Mangekyo Sharingan, humph. He wanted to see how strong a kid who had not yet reached adulthood could be. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, spiritual power +1. Opening square bracket closing square bracket. As the system's prompt sound ended, Uchiha Mirai also stopped his killing steps. Looking around, the bodies of the Kurigakure ninjas were lying densely on the ground. In the distance, there were the excited Konoha ninjas. Since Uchiha Mirai came to support the front line, their mission has changed from fighting the enemy to finding the location of the Kurigakure ninjas. After finding the Kurigakure ninjas, they only need to send the intelligence back to the camp, and leave the rest to Uchiha Mirai. Mirai-sama is so strong. No matter how many enemies there are, they will only be slaughtered in front of him. Quote. Yes, and every time he goes to fight alone, I feel a little ashamed. Don't talk nonsense. Our ability to live well is the greatest reward to Mr. Future. Mr. Future is so kind, he can do this for us, no one has ever been so good to me. That's right, if it weren't for Mr. Future, we don't know how many people would die in this war. Quote. In the eyes of Konoha's ninjas, Uchiha Mirai faces hundreds of mist ninjas alone every time just to reduce their casualties. Although he was born in a wealthy ninja clan and has unparalleled talent and powerful strength, he is willing to fight for ordinary ninjas like them on the front line and experience high-intensity battles every day. This behavior has already convinced all Konoha ninjas on the front line. Ordinary ninjas are like this, not to mention the ninjas of the Uchiha clan. In the hearts of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Mirai is forging the honor that belongs to the Uchiha clan alone. He is the pride of the new generation of the Uchiha clan, the rising son of the Uchiha clan, and he is destined to bring new hope to the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Mirai himself did not expect that. He just wanted to get more rewards, but he did not expect to become a hero in everyone's mind. Inside the tent, Uchiha Fugaku stood expressionlessly in front of the table, looking at the unfolded map, wondering what he was thinking. Uchiha Inahiro said excitedly, Master Fugaku, we have made great progress in recent times. We killed those guys from the Hidden Mist village so hard that they dared not show their heads. Attack and defense change. Master Future really fulfilled the promises he made when he first came. Uchiha Yashira nodded and added, because of Master Future, our Uchiha clan has become famous in the ninja world this time. Uchiha Tiehuo smiled and said, I don't know if you have noticed that many ninjas from many villages look at us with admiration, and many of them have expressed their desire to compete with me. I feel that since the support of Mr. Mirai, our Uchiha clan has finally become a bit like a wealthy ninja clan. Looking at the excitement of several people, Uchiha Yaoi coughed a few times and slowly said, Mr. Mirai has indeed made great contributions, but the victory or defeat of the war is not determined by one person. The current results are the result of everyone's joint efforts. For example, Mr. Fugaku, as the commander-in-chief, he stays up late every day, otherwise we would not have been able to persist until now under such a big disadvantage. After Uchiha Yaoi finished speaking, Uchiha Fugaku's face finally looked better. Uchiha Inahori, Uchiha Tiehuo, and Uchiha Yashira closed their mouths and did not express any opinions. Uchiha Mirai, who was sitting on the side, glanced at Uchiha Yaoi lightly, and then began to close his eyes and rest again. After a while, a Konoha ninja walked into the tent. Lord Fugaku, Lord Mirai, we found traces of Kurigakure ninjas on an island by the sea. According to the investigation, it seems to be an important Kurigakure ninja base. After hearing the ninja's words, Uchiha Fugaku waved his hand, I know, go down. Yes. After the ninja left, Uchiha Fugaku frowned and said, the Kurigakure has been retreating recently, why would such an important base suddenly be exposed today? There are many Kurigakure ninjas up there, maybe it's an ambush. Last time, he was almost killed by the Kurigakure ambush, so Uchiha Fugaku has always been cautious and skeptical about this kind of news. But before he finished his analysis, Uchiha Mirai had already stood up and started walking outside. "Lord Mirai, where are you going?" Uchiha Yaoi asked. "Didn't you hear it just now?" Uchiha Mirai said lightly. "Since we have discovered the base of the Hidden Mist Village, we must naturally eliminate it as soon as possible." Feeling a hint of pressure, Uchiha Yaoi said with a stiff face, "But Lord Fugaku just said that it is very likely a trap set by the enemy." After hearing his words, Uchiha Mirai held his forehead and laughed a few times. "Trap. Ha 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 ha. That is something only the weak will worry about." After saying that, Uchiha Mirai walked out of the tent without looking back. Uchiha Inahori and the others looked at each other, and all saw excitement in each other's eyes. Compared with Uchiha Fugaku, they are more willing to follow a strong man like Uchiha Mirai. "Lord Fugaku, let's go and protect Lord Mirai's safety." Uchiha Inahori and the others quickly left the tent. After they left, Uchiha Fugaku suppressed his anger and closed his eyes. "Yaoi, pass on my order, prepare to attack the base of the Hidden Mist Village." "Yes." Uchiha Yaoi took the order and left. Uchiha Fugaku opened his eyes, and a pair of scarlet Mangekyo Sharingan slowly turned. Although Uchiha Mirai did not give him even a little face just now, he could only obey Uchiha Mirai's intentions. Although he is the commander-in-chief of the battlefield, considering Uchiha Mirai's prestige in the hearts of the people, if he dares to let Uchiha Mirai attack the base of the Hidden Mist Village alone, no matter what the final result is, he will probably be regarded as a shame of the village by everyone in the future. Let you be arrogant for a while. Even if you win more fame now, you will eventually sink into endless darkness after losing your pupil power. Uchiha Fugaku took a deep breath and tried to calm his heart. Time will prove to him that his choice is the only way out for Uchiha Island. Thousands of ninjas from the Hidden Mist Village were on full alert. Karataki Yagura stood at the highest point, the fishy and cool sea breeze blew his clothes. Next to him stood a woman with long reddish-brown hair. After waiting for a long time, the woman couldn't hold back and whispered, "Lord Mizukage, standing here in such a grand manner, will those Konoha ninjas really be fooled? The island is surrounded by water and is the home of the ninjas in their village. Moreover, they have made preparations in advance. It is absolutely difficult for the other side to land on the island. In this case, as long as the Konoha ninjas are not fools, they will definitely not choose to fight them head-on, right?" "Yes." Goji Yagura showed a confident smile on his face. "With that guy's arrogance, he will definitely not miss this opportunity. During this period of time, he has specially collected a lot of information about Uchiha future. The other party has the character of a war maniac. As long as he finds an opponent, he will definitely choose to attack at the first time. Even if he knows it is an ambush, Goji Yagura believes that Uchiha future will definitely come." Suddenly, a smile appeared on the face of Kujira Yagura. "Mei Terumi, look, they are coming." Uchiha Mirai sat cross-legged on the gold sand and flew slowly towards the island in front. Below him were about 3,000 Konoha ninjas. The mighty fleet was connected together, which looked extremely spectacular. Not long after, the two sides were able to see each other across the sea. Looking at the Kurigakure ninjas waiting on the island, all the Konoha ninjas frowned. If you want to attack the Kurigakure ninjas, you must land on the island. But looking at the posture of the opposite side, if you force a landing, it is very likely to cause great casualties. Uchiha Fugaku snorted coldly and looked up at Uchiha Mirai in the air. He wanted to see what Uchiha Mirai could do in the face of this situation. Feeling the gazes of the crowd, Uchiha Mirai stretched out his hand and grabbed a bone spur as long as a kunai. After making the Flying Thunder God mark on the bone spur, Uchiha Mirai threw it suddenly, and the bone spur pierced into the beach at the edge of the island at a very fast speed. The next second, Uchiha Mirai disappeared in the air. The crowd in the Hidden Mist Village also became turbulent. Fire style. Great fire extinguishment. Boom. The huge flame instantly engulfed the Hidden Mist Village ninja in front. Then, Uchiha Mirai clapped his hands. Corpse Vein, Early Fern Dance. With Uchiha Mirai as the center, Countless sharp bone spurs were stabbed out within a radius of 100 meters, and a forest of white bones was formed in the blink of an eye. In just a moment, a huge hole was torn open in the position of the Hidden Mist Village ninja. Charge! Kill those Hidden Mist Village ninjas! Seeing that Uchiha Fugaku was indifferent, Uchiha Inahori and others shouted. The next second, nearly 3,000 Konoha ninjas jumped off the boat and rushed towards the island on the waves. Seeing this, Uchiha Fugaku gritted his teeth and clenched his fists. Corpse Vein, Flying Thunder God Technique. How many cards does this fool have hidden? Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Chakra +1. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Constitution +1. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Mental Power +1. Opening square bracket, closing square bracket. Uchiha Mirai continued to harvest the lives of the Kurigakure ninjas in the crowd, and the system prompts in his mind kept ringing. Looking at the ever-increasing attribute points, Uchiha Mirai felt a sense of satisfaction like the autumn harvest in the farmland. As for the attacks of the Kurigakure ninjas, he would basically dodge them easily. Occasionally, Uchiha Mirai would just resist the attacks that he couldn't dodge. Sand gold armor, corpse bone veins, plus his own physical strength. If he wasn't afraid that his clothes would be destroyed and reveal a terrifying and powerful guy, Uchiha Mirai wouldn't even need to dodge. Just as he was in the mood to kill, a burst of excited shouts of killing sounded around him. Mirai-sama, we are here to help you. Uchiha Mirai looked up and found that all the ninjas of Konoha had rushed up and were fighting with the ninjas of Kurigakure. Uchiha Mirai frowned. Who asked you to come? Hearing Uchiha Mirai's scolding, the faces of the Konoha ninjas showed a touching expression. Mirai-sama, you don't have to think about us so much. As early as the moment we became ninjas, we were ready to sacrifice. That's right, at least let us fight side by side with you once. We all understand your intentions, but it is precisely because of this that we can't stand idly by. This is the will of fire. Looking at the Konoha ninjas who were like chicken blood, Uchiha Mirai was a little speechless. Obviously, he just wanted to get as many rewards from the system as possible, but these guys seemed to have automatically made up a lot of things in their minds. But it's too late to say anything now, and it's still the most important thing to seize the time to harvest the ninjas of Kurigakure. At this moment, all the mist ninjas around Uchiha Mirai retreated. Then, a thick fog instantly swallowed Uchiha Mirai. Boiling style. Skillful mist technique. A palpitating sour smell floated in the air, and then Terumi-Mei kept mobilizing the chakra in her body. Dissolving style, dissolving monster technique. A large amount of sticky and highly corrosive acid covered the entire thick fog, and a hissing, corrosion sound was heard on the ground. It's over. Seeing that her attack hit the target, Terumi-Mei breathed a sigh of relief. Her blood limit can corrode everything, and everything that is stuck by boiling style and dissolving style will be corroded completely. However, when she thought of Uchiha Mirai rushing around in the crowd just now, Terumi-Mei couldn't help but feel a little regretful. Such a powerful strength, and so handsome. How great it would be if it was a ninja from her own ninja village. Just as Terumi-Mei was about to turn her attention to other ninjas, something strange happened. A huge blood-red fist suddenly rushed out of the molten slime. Be careful, water style. Mirror Shisui. A smooth water mirror blocked Terumi-Mei's body, blocking the fatal blow. Crack. The sound of the water mirror breaking rang out, and Terumi-Mei was pulled back. Lord Mizukage. Looking at the serious-looking Yagura of Karataki, a trace of joy of surviving a disaster appeared on Terumi-Mei's face. The attack just now actually broke the water mirror made by the fourth Mizukage in one go. If it hit her, she would definitely not survive. Leave this guy to me, you go deal with the other Konoha ninjas. Yes. After Terumi-Mei left, Yagura of Karataki looked at Uchiha Mirai who came out of the acid, and his expression became solemn. Judging from the battle just now, he seemed a little optimistic. Unexpectedly, the opponent alone could break the entire formation of the Hidden Mist Village. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Boiling Release Bloodline Limit. Hearing the prompt in his mind, Uchiha Mirai glanced around, but did not find the figure of Mei Terumi. Are you running away after a sneak attack? It doesn't matter, we will meet again. Uchiha Mirai put his eyes back on the face of Yagura Kujutsu. The fourth generation Mizukage in front of him has a baby face and a very short stature. There is a hideous scar on his left eye, and he seems to be younger than him. Yagura Kujutsu. Looking at such an iconic appearance, Uchiha Mirai guessed the identity of the person in front of him at once. Uchiha Mirai, you are very strong, even I don't have the confidence to defeat you. Yagura Kujutsu spoke first. It's a great honor to be able to become a person like you. Opponent, it's really exciting. Hearing this, Uchiha Mirai laughed, really? But I'm not interested in treating trash like you as an opponent. Kurodachi Yagura's face suddenly became ugly. He is the fourth generation Mizukage of the Hidden Mist Village. He holds great power in his hands, and his strength is at the ceiling of the ninja world. Not to mention being regarded as an opponent by him, even being recognized by him is already an honor. But this kid in front of him actually dared to call him trash. Absolutely unforgivable. Water style water dragon bullet technique. Water style water blade technique. Facing the attack of Kuju Yagura, Uchiha Mirai was too lazy to dodge. Even the most basic Susanoo cannot be broken by this kind of attack. Seeing that his attack had no effect, Kuju Yagura made seals with both hands again, water style water mirror technique. Quote. A huge water mirror appeared in front of Yagura Kujutsu, but the next second Yagura Kujutsu's face changed drastically. This move is his signature ninjutsu, which can create a mirror clone that is exactly the same as the enemy through the water mirror, and the clone can use the same ninjutsu as the enemy. But his chakra was almost drained, but he still couldn't create a mirror clone of Uchiha Mirai. How much chakra does this fool have? Yakura Kujutsu cursed inwardly and forcibly created a semi-finished mirror clone. Looking at Uchiha Mirai walking out of the water mirror, the faces of the ninjas of the Hidden Mist Village all showed excitement. Lord Mizukage has taken action, and now that little brat from Konoha can no longer be arrogant. It is a clone created by the water mirror technique. It is said that the clone can have the same power as the original body. Lord Mizukage, kill that little brat and avenge our dead companions. Quote. The Kage of each village has a huge reputation in the hearts of the ninjas in their own village, so when they saw Yagura Kujira take action, the ninjas of the Hidden Mist Village all showed excitement on their faces. In their opinion, although Uchiha Mirai is very strong, he can never be the opponent of the fourth Mizukage. Only Yagura Kujira secretly complained in his heart. He seemed to be a little blindly optimistic before. The Uchiha kid in front of him seemed a little too strong. Of course, that's all. As the Mizukage, Yagura Kujira has his own pride. No matter who the enemy is, he has the confidence to defeat the opponent. Looking at the eyes of the people around him, Kuju Yagura's mind moved, and the clone created by the water mirror technique rushed towards Uchiha Mirai. The clone formed seals with both hands, and a huge fireball spewed out of its mouth. Then came the wind style, lightning style, earth style, water style. Various ninjutsu were like machine guns, attacking Uchiha Mirai non-stop. Facing such an attack, Uchiha Mirai sneered disdainfully. The water mirror technique is indeed a very magical secret technique, but it is a bit exaggerated to say that it can create a clone with the same power as the original body. Looking at the water mirror clone that was still attacking him, Uchiha Mirai's pupil power suddenly surged out. The Susanoo, which originally had only an exoskeleton, instantly grew meridians, flesh and blood, and turned into a half-body demon statue more than 10 meters tall. Die! Susanoo slashed down with a knife, and the water mirror clone instantly disappeared. Seeing this scene, all the ninjas of the Hidden Mist Village were dumbfounded. The secret technique of the fourth Mizukage was so easily cracked. Looking at the Susanoo in front of him, Goji Yagura quickly formed seals with both hands, and various powerful water-style ninjutsu kept hitting Susanoo's body. But no matter how hard he tried, he didn't leave even the slightest trace on Susanoo. Uchiha Mirai controlled Susanoo and slashed at Goji Yagura. Boom, boom, boom. The huge noise shocked everyone's eardrums, and Goji Yagura could only flee around in embarrassment under the attack of Susanoo. Facing a behemoth like Susanoo, he had no way. If this is all the power, then stay here today. Uchiha Mirai snorted coldly, and Susanoo's attack continued to accelerate. After being blown away by the powerful shock wave again, Yagura fell heavily to the ground and spit out a large mouthful of blood. Die! Susanoo's long sword slashed at Yagura. Clang! There was a loud noise. A huge turtle shell blocked Susanoo's body. Taking advantage of this gap, Yagura immediately flew back to the ninja army of the Hidden Mist village. His face was very ugly. If it weren't for the three-tailed beast that blocked the fatal blow for him just now, he would have died now. The initial confidence was gone at this moment. On the contrary, the faces of the ninjas of the Hidden Mist village were all excited. The Three Tails has appeared. Now those fools in Konoha are in trouble. That's right, no matter how strong Uchiha Mirai is, he can't stop the Three Tails. Lord Mizukage is really wise. He actually brought the Three Tails Jinchuriki here in advance. He is so smart. The ninjas of Konoha looked at the huge Three Tails and their faces became a little ugly. Just seeing the huge body of the tailed beast, they felt powerless in their hearts. Those fools in the Hidden Mist village actually brought the tailed beast to the battlefield. They are simply unethical. We must bring the Nine Tails here next time. Mirai-sama has been fighting for so long. Is the chakra in his body enough to deal with the Three Tails? Listen carefully. Even if you die later, you must ensure the safety of Lord Mirai. The Three Tails appeared. The Konoha ninjas temporarily retreated and stopped fighting with the ninjas of the Hidden Mist village. Although they were confident in Uchiha Mirai's power, he had just been fighting for such a long time, and it was very likely that his chakra and physical strength had reached their limits. Moreover, the tailed beasts could easily destroy a ninja village. If things went wrong later, they would have to protect Uchiha Mirai and retreat immediately. Three-tailed, seeing the tailed beasts blocking him, Uchiha Mirai raised his eyebrows. They actually sent the tailed beasts to him. These ninjas from the Hidden Mist village were really desperate. Roar! The three-tailed beasts roared, swinging their three huge tails and hitting Susanoo hard. Bang! The huge force made Uchiha Mirai take a few steps back. Beast! Uchiha Mirai's expression turned cold, and the power of his eyes surged again. In just a short moment, the half-body Susanoo, which was more than 10 meters high, continued to climb higher, and in the blink of an eye it grew into a huge demon statue with wings on its back that was hundreds of meters high. The originally huge Three Tails actually looked fragile in front of this huge Susanoo. Gulu, are you kidding me? What kind of monster is this? Illusion, it must be an illusion, hehe. How could anyone have such power? Is this thing really something that humans can defeat? Kurigakure the ninjas of the village looked up at the towering Susanoo, their eyes full of despair. In front of Susanoo, even the three-tailed beast was pitifully small. This kind of power made them lose all fighting spirit just by looking at it. Not only the ninjas of the Hidden Mist village, but even the ninjas of Konoha were completely stunned after seeing the complete form of Susanoo. Is this the true power of Mr. Future? Is he really a god? The Sharingan can actually reach this level, it's too strong. So handsome. The power of the Uchiha clan is really enviable. With Mr. Future here, which ninja village can be our Konoha's opponent? The Konoha ninjas gradually became excited. The power displayed by Uchiha Mirai has exceeded their cognition. Many people suddenly had an idea in their hearts. Mr. Uchiha Mirai is the messenger sent by God to save their Konoha village. Retreat. After seeing the complete form of Susanoo, Goji Yagura had completely lost the desire to continue fighting. Unlike ordinary ninjas, he knew a lot of secrets. It was obvious that the power that Uchiha Madara used to pacify the troubled times had reappeared. In the face of such power, quantity has lost its meaning. No matter how many elite ninjas the Hidden Mist village has, it is impossible to defeat Uchiha Mirai who has mastered this power. Goji Yagura regretted it very much. Why did he come to provoke Konoha in the first place? Wouldn't it be nice to stay in the Hidden Mist village peacefully? Hidden Mist Technique. All the Hidden Mist village ninjas released the Hidden Mist technique at the same time, and the thick fog instantly covered the entire island. Seeing that the other party wanted to retreat, Uchiha Mirai snorted coldly, controlled Susanoo and kicked the three-tailed beast lying on the ground and dared not move hundreds of meters away. I'll come to settle accounts with you later. Susanoo stepped forward, and the entire island trembled. The long sword kept swinging, and every chop would cause a scream in the thick fog. After a while, the thick fog dissipated. The ground was densely covered with the bodies of the ninjas from the Hidden Mist village. The entire island was full of bottomless gullies, and several hills had been cut off. The sea water was backflowing and the ground was cracked. Uchiha Mirai's voice resounded in the minds of every ninja. This tiny place is not enough for me to mess with alone. Uchiha Mirai looked at the devastated island and dissipated Susanoo. As an island, this place is big enough. At least, it can support nearly 10,000 ninjas to fight. But even such a place seemed so fragile in front of the perfect Susanoo. He hadn't even used his power yet, and the island was about to sink. Slowly falling from the sky, Uchiha Mirai stepped on the head of the three-tailed beast. Isobu, it's your turn now. Hearing Uchiha Mirai's voice, the three-tailed beast shook its tail in surprise. You little brat, you actually know my name. Not only you, I also know the names of other tailed beasts. But these are not the point is that you have just provoked me. Isobu snorted. Then what do you want to do? Hearing this, Uchiha Mirai smiled. Come into my body and become a part of my power. Can I say no? Of course not, I'm not negotiating with you. Then why are you talking so much nonsense? Isobu moved his body in dissatisfaction. The little brat in front of him, like the guy called Uchiha Madara back then, has eyes full of evil. The facts have long proved that in front of these eyes, it has no ability to resist at all. So the moment Isobu saw the complete form of Susanoo, he chose to lie down completely. Resistance will only lead to more beatings. Human lifespan is only a few decades, and it will pass if you sleep a little longer. When this little brat dies, I'll see if he doesn't make the other village a mess. Uchiha Mirai was a little surprised to see that Isobu was so easy to talk to, but he still stated his conditions. Isobu, I'm different from other Jinchuriki. After being sealed by me, if you want to come out for a breath, you just need to ask me for it. After hearing Uchiha Mirai's promise, Isobu opened his mouth in surprise. Really? Aren't you afraid that I will go berserk? Uchiha Mirai smiled. If you have the ability. Humph. Isobu snorted in dissatisfaction, but he had to admit that the little brat standing on his head was telling the truth. Seeing that Isobu was silent, Uchiha Mirai used the power of the Mangekyo Sharingan to forcibly pull Isobu out of the current Jinchuriki. Then, he sealed it into his body through the sealing technique. Since Isobu did not resist, the whole process went very smoothly. In just a short moment, there was only a corpse of a ninja from the Hidden Mist village on the ground. In the spiritual world, Uchiha Mirai came to Isobu. Isobu, please give me more advice in the future. Stop talking nonsense, kid. Isobu closed his eyes coldly. Don't think I will be moved by your little tricks. Seeing Isobu's attitude, Uchiha Mirai snorted. My name is Uchiha Mirai. Isobu was unmoved. Kid. Okay. Uchiha Mirai's mouth drew a dangerous arc. Since you are so disobedient, I won't have to spare your life when I revive the 10 tails in the future. What did you say? Isobu he suddenly raised his head, his eyes full of shock. You just said to revive the 10 tails. Uchiha Mirai nodded. Yes. When the 6 Paths Sage split the 10 tails, the 9-tailed beasts were born. You have the ability to revive continuously, but once you are absorbed by the 10 tails again, you will usher in true death. Am I right? After hearing what Uchiha Mirai said, Isobu's face became extremely ugly. How did you, a little kid, know this secret? Besides the 6 Paths Sage, only the 9-tailed beasts should know about this matter. Why can the little kid in front of him know so much? You don't need to know the specific reasons, you just need to know that your life is in my hands. Feeling Uchiha Mirai's gaze, Isobu couldn't help but mutter, even if you know these things, it's not that easy to revive the 10 tails. Uchiha Mirai smiled and said, you have seen my power. It's only a matter of time before I get the 9-tailed beasts. As for the Outer Path demon statue, it should have been sealed on the moon by the old man of the 6 paths, right? The last bit of hope in Isobu's heart was shattered. No matter how unbelievable it is, it must accept the reality. The little ghost in front of him knows all the secrets about them. Thousands of years since he was born, Isobu truly felt the fear of death for the first time. Thinking of this, Isobu gritted his teeth and said, I understand what you mean. I will remember your name in the future, Uchiha Mirai. Seeing that Uchiha Mirai was unmoved, Isobu's voice became a little flattering. Brother, you will be my big brother in the future. If you want to borrow my power, Just come, I will fully cooperate with you. Seeing Isobu's look, Uchiha Mirai was a little emotional. Unexpectedly, the tailed beast would also change its face. Keep this respectful attitude, and I will strip your consciousness when I revive the 10 tails in the future. Seeing Uchiha Mirai disappear, Isobu breathed a sigh of relief. It is now going to take back its previous evaluation. Uchiha Mirai is much more dangerous than Uchiha Madara back then. Back in the real world, Uchiha Mirai slowly came to the front of the Konoha ninjas. Looking at the awe-inspiring eyes of the crowd, Uchiha Mirai waved his hand. The Hidden Mist village has been defeated. After cleaning up the battlefield, I will take you home. Yes, the Konoha ninjas all bowed, their faces full of excitement and excitement. No one doubted Uchiha Mirai's words. After seeing that insurmountable power, the Hidden Mist village ninjas, as long as they are not stupid, will never have any thoughts about Konoha again. Mirai-sama, I saw what real power is today. I can brag about it to my friends when I return to the village. Yeah, especially the last sentence, take us home, it's so cool. What should I do? I suddenly want to find an Uchiha ninja to marry. Speaking of which, I have been fighting with Uchiha ninjas for some time, and they don't seem to be as hateful as the rumors say. Not only that, every time we fight the enemy, Uchiha ninjas are at the front line, which is completely different from other ninjas. Okay, hurry up and clean up the battlefield. I didn't expect victory to come so suddenly and so easily. Thanks to Mirai-sama. Listening to everyone's discussion, the Uchiha clan ninjas all proudly puffed out their chests. These guys, now they know the true power of the Uchiha clan, right? What about Hinata, Sarutobi, Ino Shikacho? Compared to them, they are far inferior. In the past, there were always people who questioned their reputation as the most powerful family in Konoha. Now that they have seen the power of Uchiha Mirai, who dares to object in the future? Thinking of this, many Uchiha ninjas were excited. Uchiha Mirai performed so well in this ninja world war and possessed such a powerful power. Maybe the Uchiha clan will really have a Hokage. Chapter 91. Watching everyone chatting and laughing while cleaning up the battlefield, Uchiha Fugaku stood there blankly. As the commander-in-chief of the battlefield, he felt like he had become completely invisible. Everyone focused their attention on Uchiha Mirai, and no one even asked him about cleaning up the battlefield or chasing after the ninjas from the Hidden Mist village. Shame. Too shameful. As a proud Uchiha clan, Uchiha Fugaku had never felt such a great shame. Mr. Fugaku, please don't be too picky. Uchiha Yakumi walked to Uchiha Fugaku and whispered, although Uchiha Mirai is very strong, you are the future patriarch of the Uchiha clan. No matter how strong Uchiha Mirai is, he is just a knife in your hand. With him, your voice in the village will be more important. After hearing Uchiha Yakumi's words, Uchiha Fugaku said lightly, don't remind me, Uchiha Mirai will pay the price for his arrogance sooner or later. As the young patriarch of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Fugaku has been exposed to many secrets of the Uchiha clan since he was a child. Through the battle just now, he has been convinced that Uchiha Mirai has grown to the same height as Uchiha Madara back then. The huge Susanoo is proof of this. But so what? Uchiha Madara back then also overwhelmed the ninja world after opening the Mangekyo Sharingan. Except for the first Hokage, Senju Hashirama, no one is his opponent. But even Uchiha Madara almost fell into darkness. Just when Uchiha Madara was at the end of his rope, he was able to regain light after transplanting Uchiha Izuna's Mangekyo Sharingan. Uchiha Mirai is now just following the old path of Uchiha Madara. The difference is that Uchiha Mirai is an orphan, and there will be no relatives to give him another pair of Mangekyo Sharingan. For such a guy, no matter how strong the power he shows is, it will only be a passing cloud. And, Uchiha Fugaku snorted coldly. After he awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan, he secretly experimented with it. Although Susanoo is a power hidden in the Mangekyo Sharingan that can be comparable to God, it also consumes a lot of pupil power. He only activated the first stage of Susanoo, and his pupil power was rapidly consumed. Not to mention the Susanoo that Uchiha Mirai used, which was several hundred meters tall. According to his estimation, Uchiha Mirai should be close to blindness. When the other party loses his usefulness, those who follow him because of his strength will naturally leave him. At that time, he will return today's shame 100-fold. Konoha Camp. In the room, Uchiha Mirai took out a steel kunai and threw it on the ground, then opened his mouth and blew it gently. A cloud of white smoke quickly swallowed the kunai. A hissing sound was heard. Soon, the acid mist dissipated, and the steel kunai on the ground disappeared. Even the surrounding floor melted into a round pit. Not bad power. Uchiha Mirai nodded with satisfaction and opened his attribute panel again. Name: Uchiha Mirai. Physique: 2004. Spiritual power: 1950. Chakra: 1961. Bloodline limit: Mangekyo Sharingan. Magnet style: Gold dust. Burning style: Corpse veins. Boiling style: Ninjutsu. Water style: Water cannon technique. Water style: Water formation pillar. Water style: Water fang blade. Others: Secret technique: Water transformation technique. Looking at his panel, Uchiha Mirai's mouth curled up slightly. He couldn't help but be a little surprised by the harvest this time. The attribute points he plundered alone were close to 3,000 points. Before coming to support, only his physique exceeded 1,000 points, but now, after just over a month, his attribute points have undergone earth-shaking changes. Needless to say, his physique, mental power and chakra are also close to 2,000 points. The surge of power gave Uchiha Mirai an illusion that he could punch a hole in the ninja world with one punch. In addition to attribute points, he also plundered a lot of water-based ninjutsu. Although it is not worth mentioning, there is no such thing as too much. Moreover, the water transformation technique is very interesting, which can turn the body into liquid and be immune to physical attacks. Although it has the disadvantage of being restrained by lightning escape, it is already a very powerful secret technique in the ninja world. As for the corpse bone vein and boiling escape, it goes without saying. These two bloodline limits can definitely exert extremely powerful power in his hands. Especially the corpse bone vein. Uchiha Mirai feels that if if it reaches a certain level, the corpse vein may be able to evolve again. In addition, this time, he also got the power of the three tails, which can be regarded as the most abundant harvest in history. After simply feeling the power of his body, Uchiha Mirai slowly opened his eyes. The battle with the Hidden Mist village is over, and it is time to return to the village. Konoha Village. Hokage's office. Shimura Danzo pushed open the door and walked in front of Sarutobi Hiruzen with a cold face. Bang! The crutches fell heavily on the ground, and Shimura Danzo said in a deep voice, "Hiruzen, have you heard about the front line of the Hidden Mist village?" Uchiha Mirai is now taking us less and less seriously. Sarutobi Hiruzen took a puff of cigarette and said slowly, "What's wrong?" That guy actually sealed the three tails into his body privately and became the three tails Jinchuriki. Shimura Danzo was angry. Each tailed beast has the power to destroy a ninja village. How can such power be in the hands of the evil Uchiha brat? And such an important matter was not reported to the village. This is a blatant rebellion. After hearing what Shimura Danzo said, Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed silently. "Danzo, there is nothing we can do now. Uchiha Mirai is beyond our control." Hearing this, Shimura Danzo pointed at Sarutobi Hiruzen and said, "The current situation is all because of your weakness at the beginning. You have to take responsibility for it. In addition, someone needs to stand up and take responsibility for this war. Hiruzen, you should abdicate." Hearing Shimura Danzo's accusation, Sarutobi Hiruzen was speechless. "Danzo, are you still thinking about this kind of thing until now?" Shimura Danzo said dissatisfiedly, "Didn't you say before that you had the idea of abdicating?" Sarutobi Hiruzen raised his eyebrows. "That was in the past. Let me abdicate at this time. Do you want Uchiha Mirai to become the next Hokage?" Shimura Danzo was stunned for a moment, puzzled. What does it have to do with Uchiha Mirai? Sarutobi Hiruzen said with regret, "Now among the new generation of ninjas is there a ninja with stronger strength and prestige in the future?" Jikun Tuanzang retorted, "Why do you choose the next Naruto candidate from the new generation?" The Day cut her eyes. "Tuanzang must be prestigious when it becomes Naruto, and you must be recognized by everyone in the villages." Jikun Tuanzang hummed, "Non-nonsense, as long as you can vote through the upper forbearance. I decided that before I solved Uchiha's future, I would not choose to abdicate." Looking at the heavily closed door, Sarutobi Hiruzen rubbed his temples. Why did he always feel like things were out of control? The sense of crisis in his heart became stronger and stronger. If he was not sure that his Mangekyo Sharingan would go blind, he really felt that he would fail miserably this time. Half a month later, Uchiha Mirai led the ninjas from the east line of the Land of Fire back to Konoha village. Unlike the previous times, this time Uchiha Mirai became the well-deserved protagonist. Everyone was shouting his name and looking at him with the most eager eyes. Uchiha Mirai, who always fought on the front line and saved countless Konoha ninjas, became a hero in the hearts of every Konoha villager. Uchiha Mirai didn't feel much about this, but the Uchiha clan members who followed him all straightened their chests excitedly. The feeling of pride spread in the hearts of every clan member. This is the treatment that the ninja clan who founded Konoha village should enjoy. Walking through the street at the entrance of the village, Uchiha Fugaku walked up to Uchiha Mirai. The third Hokage's order, come with me to report to the Hokage. Uchiha Mirai shook his head. I'm tired, I want to go back and rest. Watching Uchiha Mirai turn around and leave, Uchiha Fugaku gritted his teeth and said, do you really want to push the Uchiha clan into the fire pit? Can you disobey the Hokage's order if you want to? Uchiha Mirai sneered and turned back and said, Fugaku, it's you who pushed the Uchiha into the fire pit step by step. The Hokage can't interfere with what I want to do. Don't show up in front of me in the future, or I'll kill you. Feeling the amazing pupil power in Uchiha Mirai's eyes, Uchiha Fugaku couldn't help but take a few steps back. He had no doubts about Uchiha Mirai's words. This guy is a lawless master. If he continues to entangle, the other party is likely to really kill him. By the way, remember to tell Sarutobi Hiruzen everything I just said, and then observe carefully what kind of expression the person you are begging for mercy will show. Ha 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 ha. Inside the clan territory, Uchiha Shisui looked at Uchiha Mirai excitedly, his eyes full of admiration. Mirai-sama, you have worked hard during this period. He had heard about what Uchiha Mirai did on the front line, so he rushed to visit him as soon as he came back. Uchiha Mirai-sama really did it. The image of the Uchiha clan in the eyes of the villagers is now completely different from before. Even Uchiha children like him often come to talk to him on their own initiative. The character of the Uchiha clan members is gradually understood by the villagers. Many villagers showed a strong curiosity about the Uchiha clan when they talked. Even the Hyuga ninjas who often threatened to defeat him in the ninja school to prove that the Hyuga clan's Byakugan was stronger than the Uchiha clan's Sharingan, began to avoid him when they saw him. In the past, this was something that they could not even think about. Seeing Uchiha Shisui's look, Uchiha Mirai asked with a smile, Shisui, what do you think? Uchiha Shisui immediately said, power is the root of everything. Oh, Uchiha Mirai showed a hint of interest, tell me about it. After organizing his words, Uchiha Shisui said, no matter what goal you want to achieve, power is indispensable. I used to think that as long as I tried to express my kindness, I could eliminate misunderstandings between people, but now I understand how naive this idea is. As long as our Uchiha clan has enough power, the conflict between the village and the Uchiha clan will naturally be resolved. After hearing Uchiha Shisui's words, Uchiha Mirai nodded with satisfaction. Shisui, I am very happy that you have such awareness, but it is not enough. Remember, power will bring war to humans, and it can also bring come to peace. The kindness of the weak will be ignored, but the charity of the strong will often make people grateful. The problem of the village and the Uchiha clan is the same. As long as the Uchiha clan of Konoha village is transformed into the Konoha village of the Uchiha clan, no villagers will be hostile to our Uchiha clan. Uchiha Mirai just finished speaking, and Uchiha Shisui naturally continued. At that time, anyone who is hostile to our Uchiha clan is the enemy of the village. Then treat the enemy. To treat the enemy, just kill them mercilessly. Looking at Uchiha Shisui who is gradually moving towards the Hawk faction, Uchiha Mirai can't help but sigh. Shisui, I haven't seen you for a while, and you have changed a lot. Hearing this, Uchiha Shisui said as a matter of course, everything is for the family and the village. Uchiha Shisui admires Uchiha Mirai more and more, and he can find such a new path. He was just too stubborn. Since the village is destined to not accommodate Uchiha, no matter how hard he tries, it will be useless. But on the other hand, as long as the village becomes the village of the Uchiha clan, won't everything be solved? After all, the members of the Uchiha clan all deeply love the Konoha village that they built. Even if the Uchiha clan is in charge, the Uchiha clan will not be unable to accommodate the village. Of course, to achieve this goal, you must have enough power. And Uchiha Future is just a strong man with this kind of power. The conversation lasted until late at night. As soon as Uchiha Shisui left, Uchiha Tiehuo's voice rang out from outside the door. Mirai-sama, the clan leader invites you to come over. Uchiha Mirai walked out of the room, looked at Uchiha Tiehuo and asked, "What did you say?" Uchiha Tiehuo lowered his voice and whispered, "The clan leader seems to be in poor health." Hearing this, Uchiha Mirai nodded. "I know, lead the way." Yes, following Uchiha Tiehuo all the way to Uchiha Tajima's bedroom, many strong men of the Uchiha clan have gathered inside. In addition to Uchiha Fugaku, Uchiha Yashira, Uchiha Inahime, Uchiha Yakumi and others, there are also some elderly old men, all standing in front of the bed in the room. Uchiha Tajima sat weakly on the edge of the bed. Seeing Uchiha Mirai coming in, Uchiha Tajima forced a smile on his face and said weakly, "Mirai, calling you here so late at night, it didn't affect your rest, did it?" "Chief Tajima, you." Uchiha Mirai frowned. Compared with the last time they met, Uchiha Tajima's body is now very thin. He has almost no energy, it seems that his end is coming. "Alas, I was thinking of telling you my last words tomorrow, but my body can't hold on any longer. In the future, you are the hope of our Uchiha clan. It is you who have improved the relationship between the Uchiha clan and the village a lot. Moreover, you have the Mangekyo Sharingan at a young age, so your future is limitless. But if the Mangekyo Sharingan is used for a long time, it will lose its light due to the exhaustion of pupil power. You have to grasp this point well. In the future, the Uchiha clan will be handed over to you and Fugaku to lead. Originally, my father named me Tajima because he wanted me to train an excellent successor like Uchiha Madara. Back then, our Uchiha, the Uchiha clan, is sorry for him. It's a pity that things didn't go as planned. Fugaku's character is a bit indecisive. But fortunately, you are here. Maybe you are the key to changing the village and the Uchiha clan." Uchiha Tajima said a lot in one breath, and he forced himself to scan the people present. "I now appoint Uchiha Fugaku as the head of the Uchiha clan, and Uchiha Mirai as the captain of the Konoha police force. Who is in favor and who is against?" Seeing that no one expressed any objection, Uchiha Tajima coughed violently a few times, then it's settled. After speaking, he took a last look at Uchiha Fugaku. "Fugaku, don't be too stubborn. This is the last advice from your father." It was late at night when I came out of Uchiha Tajima's room. This old man who had served as the head of the Uchiha clan for decades died quietly on such an ordinary night. Uchiha Mirai felt a little sad. Human life is indeed short and fragile. No wonder Orochimaru is so obsessed with immortality. Uchiha Mirai has no ill feelings towards Uchiha Tajima. Although the other party is Uchiha Fugaku's father, his style of doing things is completely opposite to Uchiha Fugaku. Before he grew up, he also took good care of him. He also contributed to the Uchiha clan's current strength under the suppression of Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo. However, Uchiha Mirai did not agree with the other party's last words. In any case, he could not assist Uchiha Fugaku. After such a long period of contact, Uchiha Mirai has a better understanding of Uchiha Fugaku. Although the other party is indecisive and weak in character, he is extremely stubborn in his heart. Uchiha Mirai didn't think the other party would compromise and accept his ideas. This point was verified as early as the day when he supported the battlefield of Kurigakure. Uchiha Tajima still didn't figure it out. On the issue of the future path of the Uchiha clan, it is not enough to compromise and give in to each other. This is a life and death struggle. If Uchiha Fugaku continues to stand on the opposite side of him, he can only get rid of the other party by himself. Just as Uchiha Mirai was thinking, a group of Uchiha clan members also walked out of the room. Uchiha Inahiro walked quickly to Uchiha Mirai and said with a smile, "Mirai-sama, congratulations, you will be our immediate superior from now on." Uchiha Yasada also came over. It is such an honor to be able to work under you. I believe that our clan will be able to regain its former glory in your hands. Uchiha Tiehuo said excitedly. Mirai-sama, we will treat you to a meal sometime. Uchiha Mirai nodded and agreed. Then it's settled, I will treat you then. On the battlefield of Kurigakure, Uchiha Tiehuo, Uchiha Yasada, and Uchiha Inahiro all stood firmly on his side. For such subordinates, Uchiha Mirai was not opposed to communicating with them more. After several people left, a hunchbacked old man blocked Uchiha Mirai. Captain Mirai, are you interested in sitting with me for a while? Looking at the old man in front of him, Uchiha Mirai nodded. Uchiha Fenyan, the most representative Hawk elder of the Uchiha clan. In addition to his tough style, there is another reason why Uchiha Mirai has an impression of him. He is the grandfather of Uchiha Izumi. There is only a kerosene lamp in the dim room. Uchiha Fenyan put the teacup in front of Uchiha Mirai and slowly sat opposite. I am old and there are not many people at home. I always feel that kerosene lamps can make people feel warmer than incandescent lamps. Uchiha Fenyan explained first, then sighed, I should have agreed to let you marry an outsider. Now I can only see her a few times a year. I am old and it is too lonely to live alone. Uchiha Mirai did not comment on this. According to his understanding, Uchiha Fenyan's daughter, Uchiha Yiyu, did not marry a member of the Uchiha clan, but married an ordinary ninja in the village and gave birth to Uchiha Izumi. Because the man is not from the Uchiha clan, the whole family lives outside the clan. Although the distance is not too far, for some reason, Uchiha Yayui rarely returns to the clan. However, Uchiha Mirai was not interested in learning too much about this kind of family problem, and immediately said, Elder Fenyan, you called me here, not just to complain, right? Uchiha Fenyan smiled embarrassedly. When people get old, sometimes they like to nag about some messy things. In fact, I called you here this time just to remind you. It's better to use the Mangekyo Sharingan less in the future. Uchiha Mirai lowered his head and drank a sip of tea, and said lightly, what do you mean? Of course it's to save power. You should also know that the higher the frequency of using the Mangekyo Sharingan, the faster you will go blind. Uchiha Fenyan looked at Uchiha Mirai with a sharp look, if you can ensure that your Mangekyo Sharingan will not go blind, then with your current prestige, after the third Hokage chooses to abdicate, you will have a good chance of success in running for the next Hokage. At that time, I will contact the clan. The elders of the Uchiha clan fully support you, even if it means using force. With the power of the Uchiha clan, you will definitely be able to. Bang! The teacup made a dull sound on the table, interrupting Uchiha Fenyan's fantasy. Uchiha Mirai tapped his fingers lightly on the table, making a rhythmic tapping sound. As the hawkish elder of the Uchiha clan, is this all you have? Listening to Uchiha Mirai's seemingly disappointed tone, Uchiha Fenyan was stunned for a moment and asked in confusion, what do you mean? Why should we pin our hopes on something that we don't know when it will happen? Wait for Sarutobi Hiruzen to abdicate. Uchiha Mirai snorted lightly. Who knows how long that old guy will stay in the position of Hokage? Since you want to compete for the position of Hokage, why not overthrow Sarutobi Hiruzen? Quote, it is this practice of repeatedly placing hope on the future that has led the Uchiha clan to its current situation. After hearing Uchiha Mirai's words, Uchiha Fenyan felt dry in the mouth. Overthrow the third Hokage. But, Uchiha Mirai interrupted Uchiha Fenyan impatiently, stood up and said, Elder Fenyan, you are too conservative. You don't have to worry about such things in the future. Enjoy your old age. Seeing Uchiha Mirai preparing to leave the room, Uchiha Fenyan gritted his teeth and said loudly, you always need your clan members to do something for you, right? Money, people, cultivation resources. At least I can give you some advice. Uchiha Mirai waved his hand without looking back. My decision does not require the participation of others, and everyone just needs to obey orders. Quote. Uchiha Fenyan looked at Uchiha Mirai who was leaving, and it took a long time for him to come back to his senses. Originally, he thought he was radical enough, but after hearing Uchiha Mirai's ideas, he found that he was so harmless. If you want to be Hokage, go overthrow the third generation. Even now when he thought of this sentence, he couldn't help but feel his heartbeat speed up. Uchiha Fenyan seemed to suddenly understand why Uchiha Mirai could open the Mangekyo Sharingan at this age. After a long time, Uchiha Fenyan couldn't help but murmured in a low voice, Chief Tajima is still soft-hearted. Since he knows Uchiha Fugaku's character, he shouldn't let him be the chief. Fugaku is so crazy, Fugaku may have no way to survive. Half a month later, as the Kanabi Bridge was blown up by Minato Namikaze's team, Iwagakure announced its withdrawal and the Third Ninja World War ended. Konoha Village. The villagers spontaneously organized to take to the streets to welcome the Konoha ninjas who returned from the battlefield of Iwagakure. Unfortunately, it was different from the previous times. Most of the returning ninjas were wrapped in bandages, and there was no joy of victory on everyone's face. A bleak and murderous atmosphere continued to emanate from this group of Konoha ninjas. Walking in the front was Minato Namikaze. His face no longer had the warm smile of the past, and his expression was a little dull. Following behind him were Nohara Rin and Hitaki Kakashi, both of whom had their heads drooped and bowed their heads like zombies. Strange, isn't the war won? Why are all of you like this? Alas, I heard that this was a tragic victory, and our Konoha village ninjas suffered heavy casualties. Why is it like this? Hearing everyone's discussion, a ninja in the crowd couldn't help but snorted coldly, you guys, have you forgotten the cruelty of war? It's only natural that this situation would occur. Hearing his words, everyone around was stunned, and then nodded in agreement. Yes, I was a little too proud. Now think about it, if it wasn't for Uchiha Mirai, I would have died on the battlefield of Kurigakure. Yes, I was transferred to the battlefield of Sand Village, and with the support of Uchiha Mirai, I was able to inflict heavy damage on the Sand Ninjas. Come to think of it, it was the same on the battlefield of Kumogakure. We also suffered heavy casualties, but after Mirai came to support us, we won the war easily not long after. In that case, if it wasn't for Mirai, the situation on our other battlefields would probably be similar to that on the battlefield of Iwagakure, right? Although it may be a little inappropriate to say this, it was only in the war with Iwagakure that Uchiha Mirai didn't have time to support. Those ninjas who died on the battlefield were just a little unlucky after all. The villagers who were originally full of joy and ready to warmly welcome Minato Namikaze and his party finally reacted. There is no winner in war. Regardless of winning or losing, both sides will suffer huge casualties. The victory in the war with very few casualties was entirely because Uchiha Mirai crushed the enemy with absolute strength. The atmosphere in the village gradually became depressed, and everyone was infected by the sadness. Gradually, the team became smaller and smaller. Until the door of the Hokage building, only Namikaze Minato, Hitaki Kakashi, and Nohara Rin were left. You two go back first, I'll go to report the situation to the Hokage. As for Obito, I didn't support him in time, don't blame yourself. After hearing what Namikaze Minato said, Nohara Rin and Hitaki Kakashi nodded. If they could be as strong as Mirai, Obito would not have died. 3 days later, dark clouds covered the sky, and drizzles continued to fall. Hundreds of ninjas in black clothes held white flowers in their hands and stood in front of the memorial in an orderly manner. Under the chairmanship of Sarutobi Hiruzen, everyone observed a 3-minute silence for their companions who died in the Third Ninja World War. After the silence, Sarutobi Hiruzen stood opposite the crowd and said with a sad face, "We have won the war again. The facts tell us that Konoha will never be defeated. Although the heroes have fallen asleep, they have passed on the will of fire. Where Konoha dances, the fire will also continue. The fire will illuminate the village and let the new leaves sprout." Listening to Sarutobi Hiruzen's endless speech, Uchiha Mirai lost interest and turned to leave. When he walked to the side of the cemetery, Uchiha Mirai glanced at the big tree next to him. On the tree, a man with white hair was sitting on it and watching him silently. Seeing that he was discovered, the man immediately smiled and said loudly, "You are Uchiha Mirai, right? I heard that you opened the Mangekyo Sharingan. That is a legendary power, so enviable. What's the matter? Let me introduce myself. My name is Jiraiya, and I am a former teammate of Orochimaru." Uchiha Mirai showed a thoughtful expression. "Jiraiya. Orochimaru seemed to have mentioned it, but he said he was not familiar with you." "Huh, Orochimaru, that fool, dared to insult our bond like this. It is absolutely unforgivable. Hey, don't leave yet. Looking at Uchiha Mirai's back as he left without looking back, Jiraiya, the smile on his face disappeared. Just as the rumors said, this little guy named Uchiha Mirai is very powerful and can easily find him hiding in the dark and concealing his breath. With the Mangekyo Sharingan and such a strong strength, will he be the variable in the dream of the big-toed sage? Mirai, wait for us. Hearing the shouting behind him, Uchiha Mirai turned around and Nohara Rin and Hitaki Kakashi ran to him breathlessly. You are so brave, you sneaked out before the third Hokage even finished talking. Hearing Hitaki Kakashi's complaint, Uchiha Mirai shook his head. Let me correct you, I left openly. That's why I say you are so brave. Hitaki Kakashi finished speaking and found that Uchiha Mirai had been staring at him. He turned his head to the side unnaturally and muttered, Why are you looking at me like that? Nothing, I'm just a little curious about your experience on the battlefield in Iwagakure village. Although Uchiha Obito was still dead, Hitaki Kakashi did not lose an eye, and Uchiha Obito did not give his Sharingan to Hitaki Kakashi. Uchiha Mirai was very curious about how Uchiha Obito got into trouble this time. Seeing that Hitaki Kakashi was silent, Nohara Rin took the initiative to speak. Mirai, let me tell you. Our team was ordered to blow up the Canopy Bridge, and Minato-sensei had to go to the front line to support the front, so everyone separated temporarily. Later, I was captured by the ninjas of the Hidden Rock village and taken to a cave. When I woke up, my hands and feet were tied. Kakashi and Obito came to save me and were surrounded by those Iwagakure ninjas. At the critical moment, I opened the scroll you gave me, and then those Iwagakure ninjas were all ablaze with black flames. Those flames were just like what you said, Mirai. No matter what method the Iwagakure ninjas used, they couldn't put them out. In the end, those Iwagakure ninjas performed Earth Escape ninjutsu together and collapsed the cave. Originally, we were about to escape, but in the end, Obito seemed to be tripped by a tree root and was unfortunately hit by a huge falling rock. After hearing Nohara Rin's explanation, Uchiha Mirai also roughly understood what happened. Except for some details, the rest of the development is not much different from the original. Mirai, if I can be stronger. Looking at the self-blaming Hitaki Kakashi, Uchiha Mirai stopped and looked back at him. What's wrong? If you want to say something to comfort me, then I advise you to. Kakashi, if you are new, practice more. If you are new, practice more. After hearing what Uchiha Mirai said, Hitaki Kakashi almost vomited blood. He never thought that Uchiha Mirai would say such a thing at this time. According to common sense, shouldn't he comfort and encourage him at this time, and then let him rekindle his fighting spirit? Seeing Hitaki Kakashi's depressed look, Nohara Rin laughed secretly. I don't know why, being with Uchiha Mirai always seems to be able to temporarily forget the troubles. Rin, you too. Nohara Rin's smile was retracted. You really hurt everyone equally. Mirai, I haven't had time to thank you yet. If it weren't for the scroll you gave me, Kakashi and I might not have survived the siege of the Rock Ninja. And, when we parted on the battlefield of the Hidden Mist Village, the words you said also gave me great encouragement. Uchiha Mirai waved his hand. Don't worry, I've forgotten it. Hearing this, Nohara Rin was a little disappointed. It doesn't matter, as long as I keep it in my heart. The atmosphere gradually became settled, and Uchiha Mirai glared at Hitaki Kakashi who was standing next to him. I said, can you stay away? Why? Uchiha Mirai waved his fist confidently. If you are confident that you can withstand the power of this punch, then you can continue to stand here. HMPH. Hitaki Kakashi left arrogantly. After he left, Uchiha Mirai looked at Nohara Rin, whose eyes were slightly red, and took out a golden kunai from the ninja bag. There is a complex black mark engraved on the handle of the kunai. This is the Flying Thunder God kunai he made with gold dust. Not only can it be used as the mark of the Flying Thunder God, but it can also be controlled at will through the magnetic escape blood limit. This is an idea he came up with after a certain battle. In addition to being used to help in battle, it is also a good choice to give it to others. Rin, this is for you. This is. Nohara Rin took the kunai and found that the entire kunai was made of gold dust. Her face immediately became flustered. Mirai, no, this is too expensive. It's nothing to me. Uchiha Mirai patted the gourd on his waist. I have collected more gold dust than you think. Nohara Rin then remembered that Uchiha Mirai has the power to control gold dust. Carefully taking the kunai, Nohara Rin's eyes glowed. Women have almost no resistance to things like gold. Not to mention the gold kunai. It was heavy and shiny, so beautiful. She picked up the gold dust kunai and looked at it carefully for a long time. Suddenly, she asked curiously, "Future, what is the pattern on it?" Uchiha Mirai explained, "This is the Flying Thunder God Seal. With it, I can come to you instantly when you are in danger." "I understand. It's just like Minato's ninjutsu." "That's right." Nohara Rin lowered her head shyly, with a blush on her face. "Future, you gave me this. Hong won't be angry, right?" Hearing this, Uchiha Mirai's mouth twitched. "Don't worry, Hong has one too." Nohara Rin seemed to be relieved and patted her chest. "That's good. He. I will keep it with me. Goodbye." Looking at Nohara Rin's back, Uchiha Mirai turned around and walked towards the clan. Just as he thought, Uchiha Obito was chosen by Uchiha Madara and was destined to die in the Third Ninja World War. If he guessed correctly, the tree root that tripped Uchiha Obito in Nohara Rin's mouth was probably the work of Uchiha Madara. In this case, in order to make Uchiha Obito black, Uchiha Madara will definitely not let Nohara Rin go. Instead of being on guard all the time, it is better to let Uchiha Madara realize his plan. Anyway, with the eye technique of Tenho Lizzen, Nohara Rin will not be in any danger of life. And, because of the relationship between Namikaze Minato and Uzumaki Kushina, Uchiha Mirai does not want to make a judgment on Uchiha Obito before anything happens. This is also the last chance he gives Uchiha Obito. If the other party still chooses to blacken, don't blame him for being ruthless. As for why he didn't try to protect or change Obito before Uchiha Madara made his move. Uchiha Mirai didn't want to keep a bomb that could explode at any time. Only when the bomb's fuse was lit and confirmed he can only be completely relieved after he knows whether the bomb will explode, and then make the corresponding decision. This is Konoha village. It looks much more prosperous, no wonder everyone wants to fight for Konoha's land. Walking on the street, Mei Terumi looked at the dazzling array of goods with some envy. Compared with the Konoha village in front of her, everything in Kurigakure is so simple that it makes people feel inferior. Mei Terumi, do you understand the reason why the village took the initiative to start a war? After gaining power, we will strive for a better life. This is the commonality of human beings. If this war can succeed, there will be no more bodies starving to death on the roadside in our village. The speaker is a bald old man holding a dragon-headed cane. Although his teeth are about to fall out, the whole person looks full of aura. Master Yuenshi, but we failed. Mei Terumi retorted. So many ninjas died in the village, and we didn't achieve any results. Instead, the situation became more difficult. Now we have to come to Konoha to negotiate compensation. The Yuenshi interrupted Mei Terumi and said in a deep voice, "That's because Konoha has the variable of Uchiha Mirai. If it weren't for him, Konoha, which was surrounded by enemies, would definitely end up being divided." Mei Terumi couldn't help swallowing her saliva when she heard Yuenshi mention Uchiha Mirai. Although that guy killed many companions from the Hidden Mist village on the battlefield, it was understandable. After all, the battlefield was originally a life and death struggle, not to mention that the war was initiated by the Hidden Mist village. The most important thing is, he is handsome. When she recalled the appearance of Uchiha Mirai that day, Mei Terumi felt a little distressed. Why doesn't the Hidden Mist village have such a good-looking ninja? Mei Terumi, what are you thinking about? Master Yuan looked at the girl in front of him and asked in confusion. Nothing, I want to walk around Konoha, is that okay? Master Yuan nodded. Don't cause trouble. And, Master Yuan seemed to have thought of something, and said seriously, I brought you to Konoha this time to let you see the outside world and build the village well in the future. Don't just ask boys on the street, understand? Hearing this, Mei Terumi nodded. Got it. After seeing the appearance of Uchiha Mirai, her vision will not be the same as before. Don't underestimate people, Master Yuan. This is delicious too. Mei Terumi came out of the barbecue restaurant and bought a few strings of 3-color meatballs from the dessert shop. She put them in her mouth and showed an intoxicated look on her face. The ninjas of Konoha eat so well, which is really enviable. But what disappointed Mai Terumi was that, after so long, she had not seen many men who could satisfy her vision. It seems that even in Konoha, Uchiha Mirai's appearance is very rare. While eating and walking along the way, Mai Terumi's eyes suddenly lit up. At the corner of the street, she saw a familiar figure. Uchiha Mirai. Hearing the shout, Uchiha Mirai turned around and found a woman in a blue dress with reddish-brown curly hair running towards him. Looking at the ninja forehead guard on the other person's neck, Uchiha Mirai frowned slightly, a ninja from the Hidden Mist village. Seeing Uchiha Mirai's puzzled eyes, Terumi Mai smiled and said, "I almost forgot to introduce myself. My name is Terumi Mai, a ninja from the Hidden Mist village. This time I came to Konoha with the elders of the village to discuss post-war compensation and the 7 ninja swords." Uchiha Mirai suddenly realized something. He said why he felt that the woman in front of him always looked familiar. It turned out to be Terumi Mai. At this stage, Terumi Mai looks like a vibrant young girl, completely different from the queen-like temperament in the original work. However, since they met, it would be a good choice to choose Terumi Mai as his chess piece and let the future take charge of the Hidden Mist village on his behalf. "Hey, do you stare at every girl like this?" Uchiha Mirai came back to his senses and shook his head. "I was just thinking." "Huh, thinking about what? You attacked me on the battlefield." Hearing this, Terumi Mai smiled and waved her hand. "Don't worry about that kind of thing. On the battlefield, you kill me and I kill you. And you're fine too." Uchiha Mirai snorted and turned to walk towards the clan's land. "Follow me." "If you ask me to follow, I'll follow." Looking at Uchiha Mirai still walking forward on her own, Mai Terumi couldn't help but mutter, "What a cold man." But after complaining, Mai Terumi followed him and walked to Uchiha Mirai and asked curiously, "By the way, why didn't you go to negotiate with our village? If a strong man like you participates in the negotiation, it should be easy to get more benefits for the village, right?" Uchiha Mirai said lightly, "Benefits don't matter, even if there is no compensation, it doesn't matter." Hearing Uchiha Mirai's speech, Mai Terumi opened her mouth in surprise. "No, what's the matter with this tolerant and generous look? At that time, you were on the battlefield, and you didn't show any mercy when killing people. Even this girl was almost killed by you with one punch." Mai Terumi asked puzzledly, "Why do you have such an idea?" "Because to me, whether it is Konoha village, Kurigakure, or any other ninja village, there is no difference." Hearing such an answer, Mai Terumi felt that she was dumbfounded. She had seen many ninjas whose vision surpassed that of their clan, but it was the first time she had met someone like Uchiha Mirai whose vision even surpassed that of the village. As expected of a man with such great power, he is so generous that it is fascinating. But Mai Terumi complimented with admiration, and then rolled her eyes at Uchiha Mirai. "You should just lie to other people with such words." Uchiha Mirai turned her head and looked at Mai Terumi. "What do you mean?" Mai Terumi snorted. "I have heard that the Uchiha clan is not well received in Konoha village. Is it the Hokage who doesn't allow you to participate in the post-war negotiations?" After hearing Mai Terumi's answer, Uchiha Mirai shaking his head, "Of course not. Tisk, I don't believe it. You don't really think that other villages are the same as Konoha village, do you?" Uchiha Mirai smiled. "What's so strange about this?" "It's obviously strange." Terumi Mai snorted. "Then tell me why you think so." Hearing this, Uchiha Mirai stopped and said lightly, "Because in the future, I am destined to unify the entire ninja world, so no matter which village it is, it will eventually fall under my jurisdiction." Terumi Mai was completely speechless. She felt that the man in front of her was a complete lunatic. Unify the entire ninja world? What are you kidding? Smile. This is something that even Hashirama Senju and Madara Uchiha didn't do. She admitted that the guy in front of her was very strong, but he was not strong enough to surpass Hashirama Senju and Madara Uchiha, right? Seeing Mai Terumi's look, Uchiha Mirai didn't explain too much. When things develop to that point, the other party will naturally understand his current thoughts. After this episode, Mai Terumi also lost interest in Uchiha Mirai. He has a good appearance, but his inner thoughts are so crazy. It's okay for ordinary people, but the key is that the man in front of him really has the power to destroy the world. It seems that we have to be prepared in advance. This guy may bring disaster to the entire ninja world in the future. Thinking of this, Maid Terumi said coldly, "You'd better give up this dangerous idea, otherwise, even if I die, I will try my best to stop you." Uchiha Mirai shrugged and didn't say much. Instead, he asked Maid Terumi, "What do you think of Konoha?" Maid Terumi couldn't keep up with Uchiha Mirai's thoughts, but still answered truthfully, "It's very prosperous, and the affluent life is enviable." Uchiha Mirai smiled and said, "If the ninja world is unified, everyone can share what they have and no longer have to worry about the issue of interests. At that time, every place can have a rich life. Moreover, after the ninja world is unified, there is no need to worry about another war." Maid Terumi was stunned for a moment. "If that's the case, it sounds good. But, what you said is indeed beautiful, but it is not so easy to unify the ninja world. Do you know how many people will die?" Uchiha Mirai said lightly. "Don't worry, the death toll will not be as high as the combined death toll of the first 3 ninja world wars. Killing, just to stop killing. Death before the change is for a better rebirth after the change." Hearing Uchiha Mirai's words, Terumi May felt that her entire worldview was impacted. She had never thought about the problem from this perspective. Uchiha Mirai did not expect Terumi May to accept his ideas in a short time, so after giving her some time to digest, Uchiha Mirai spoke again. "The existing system will eventually breed darkness, and the Hidden Mist Village is no exception. When the Hidden Mist Village sinks into darkness, you can come to me, and I will make the Hidden Mist Village a new look. Of course, this promise is only valid before I attack the Hidden Mist Village." Uchiha Mirai left after he finished speaking. Maid Terumi stayed where she was, pouting her lips, and snorted after a long time. "Tisk, arrogant man, if it weren't for your good looks, I would have taught you a lesson with my mouthful of acid mist." After mumbling a few times, Maid Terumi did not choose to continue to follow. "I have heard that the ninjas of the Uchiha clan are very paranoid, and today I saw that it was indeed the case. He actually wanted to unify the ninja world. What a lunatic. He also said that when the village sinks into darkness, you can come to him. Hee. Even if Maid Terumi died in the Hidden Mist Village, or jumped into the sea from the Hidden Mist Village and drowned, she would never betray the village and join Uchiha Mirai. The Uchiha clan's land. Uchiha Mirai walked on the street and saw that all his clansmen stopped what they were doing and took the initiative to greet him. This 14-year-old boy has grown into the pride of the Uchiha clan. "Mirai, come to Grandma's house tomorrow morning for breakfast. I won't charge you." "Little Mirai, my grandson works in the police force. I'll have to ask you to take care of him in the future." "Hey, I say you guys, you should change your words in the future. You should call me Mr. Mirai." "Ah, yes, I'm used to calling you that." The little guy the first watched grow up has become a hero of the family in the blink of an eye. "I'm really a little uncomfortable." After simply greeting the clan members, Uchiha Mirai returned to his courtyard. As soon as he entered the yard, several white snakes rushed towards Uchiha Mirai. Uchiha Mirai took out a kunai and accurately cut each white snake in half from the 7-inch position. Then, Orochimaru, wearing a white kimono, slowly walked out of the vegetable garden. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Triple Rashomon. Hearing the prompt of the system in his mind, Uchiha Mirai knew that Orochimaru had no intention of continuing to fight. At that moment, he asked curiously, "Orochimaru, what do you want to do?" Orochimaru smiled and stuck out his tongue, saying, "I just want to see if Mirai-kun has become lax recently. I didn't expect Mirai-kun to be as sharp as ever." After Orochimaru finished speaking, he changed the subject. "It's a pity, it's a waste to let so many white snakes die like this. Mirai-kun, just use them to make snake soup." Uchiha Mirai was speechless. "Good guy, this is your real purpose." "I don't have time." Uchiha Mirai simply rejected Orochimaru's proposal. "You attack him by surprise, and you still want him to cook." Wishful thinking. Hearing this, Orochimaru licked his lips. "Mirai-kun, don't be angry. What you said to Jiraiya a few days ago caused me a lot of trouble." Uchiha Mirai shrugged. "I was just joking with Jiraiya, but he took it seriously. It can be seen that what I said absolutely fits the image of you in his mind." Orochimaru sighed. "Mirai-kun, compared to you, I still need to practice my mouth more. I'm not good at preaching. Uchiha Mirai snorted lightly. You didn't come here today to really want to eat snake soup. Orochimaru shook his head, took out a sealing scroll from his arms, and made seals with both hands. Bang! After a puff of smoke, Orochimaru had a long sword in his hand. Mirai-kun, you are a person of status now, how can you live without a decent sword? This Kusanagi sword is for you. Looking at the Kusanagi sword that looks like the long sword used by Uchiha Sasuke in the original work, Uchiha Mirai took it casually. Clang! Pulling out the long sword and feeling it carefully, Uchiha Mirai nodded with satisfaction. This sword is much better than the one Uchiha Fugaku gave him. Uchiha Mirai hung the Kusanagi sword on his waist and pushed the door open. Orochimaru, pick up the white snake on the ground. After drinking the steaming snake soup, Uchiha Mirai chuckled and said, Orochimaru, you and I have such frequent contact, I guess you can't stay in the village for long. Orochimaru shook his head indifferently. Mirai-kun, I don't have any illusions about the teacher anymore. Even if you become a rebel ninja, it's only temporary. I look forward to the day when Mirai-kun takes power in Konoha. After hearing what Orochimaru said, Uchiha Mirai raised his eyebrows in surprise. Orochimaru, do you believe what I said before? Orochimaru nodded. I have heard from the teacher that the other party intends to continue to serve as Hokage. Uchiha Mirai was not too surprised by this news. Unlike the original work, because of his existence, Minato Namikaze, who was favored by Sarutobi Hiruzen, did not actually make a big name. Whether compared with Orochimaru or him, Minato Namikaze's prestige in the hearts of the villagers of Konoha is far inferior. So it is not difficult to understand that Sarutobi Hiruzen chose to continue to serve as Hokage. After a moment of silence, Orochimaru continued. Now there is a lot of demand in the village to elect me as the new Hokage, which is completely contrary to the teacher's purpose, so the teacher will definitely not sit idly by. This coincides with what you said before. Speaking of this, Orochimaru's eyes flashed with curiosity. Mirai-kun, sometimes I am really curious, how do you know so many secrets? Uchiha Mirai glanced at Orochimaru and said lightly, Orochimaru, curiosity is too strong, but it will cause trouble. Hearing this, Orochimaru did not continue to ask, but just sighed. Mirai-kun, I like the snake soup you made very much. I like it, but I may not be able to eat it soon. Quote. Uchiha Mirai shook his head. Orochimaru, don't worry. It won't be too long. After that, Uchiha Mirai knocked on the table. Sarutobi Hiruzen is a decent person. Hearing this topic, Orochimaru's eyes flashed with excitement. Mirai, if the teacher doesn't want to be decent, I have many ways to help the teacher be decent. Uchiha Mirai smiled. Whether Sarutobi Hiruzen wants to be decent or not, I won't let him be decent. After that, Uchiha Mirai had a flash of inspiration in his mind, and thought of the scene of the Chunin exam in the original work. That is a good platform for Sarutobi Hiruzen to be ruined in the whole ninja world. Since you cherish your feathers so much, I will nail you to the pillar of shame in the ninja world forever. Thinking of this, Uchiha Mirai smiled and said, Orochimaru, there may be something that needs your help in the future. This is the Flying Thunder God Kunai, I will use it to contact you when the time comes. Orochimaru couldn't help but be moved when he took the gold sand kunai. Kunai made of gold. It can be called the best collection of ninjas. I just don't know what kind of ending Mirai will arrange for the teacher. Konoha Village. Street. Yuanshi walked in front with a relaxed smile on his face. Compared with before he came, his steps seemed much easier. Mei Terumi followed behind him, looking up and scanning the surroundings from time to time, but she never found the figure of the person she wanted to see. Mei Terumi, you seem to have something on your mind. Are you worried? I don't have any. After hearing Mei Terumi's answer, Master Yuan smiled. Is it that Uchiha Mirai kid? Mei Terumi widened her eyes. Master Yuan, how did you know? Master Yuan said indifferently. That guy is indeed good looking, but he is a complete dangerous person. You'd better stay away from him. Mei Terumi fell silent after hearing this. Master Yuan was right, Uchiha Mirai was indeed a dangerous person. Such a person, no matter how much he fits her aesthetic taste, she must never fall for him. But, such a handsome guy is really hard to find. Throwing away the chaotic thoughts in her mind, Mei Terumi glanced at the master. Master, you seem to be in a good mood. The master smiled. Of course, this peace talk went very smoothly. As long as we act a little stronger, Konoha's third Hokage will immediately make concessions, but only ask for some war reparations. And, in order to be on good terms with Kurigakure, he took the initiative to return the 7 ninja swords to us. It's a pity that the 3 tails was sealed into his body by Uchiha Mirai, and there is no hope of taking it away. It's our luck that Konoha village has such a Hokage. After listening to what the master said, Mei Terumi was a little surprised. You know, Kurigakure was not only the party that took the initiative to provoke the war, but also suffered a disastrous defeat in the war with Konoha. Originally, they were ready to bleed heavily when they came, but they didn't expect Sarutobi Hiruzen to be so generous. Ha 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 ha, this time we have lived up to everyone's expectations. The master laughed heartily. Mei Terumi was also very happy at first, but the figure of Uchiha Mirai suddenly flashed in her mind. Thinking of what Uchiha Mirai had said to her, Mei Terumi could not help but become silent again. The third Hokage was indeed very weak, but he was already old. Once the next Hokage came to power, would Konoha still be like this? Especially the representative of the new generation of Konoha ninjas, Uchiha Mirai, still dreamed of unifying the ninja world. Once the Konoha regime changed, he became the party that took the initiative. What kind of situation would the ninja world be in? Mei Terumi, why are you distracted again? After hearing what Master Yuan said, Mei Terumi came back to her senses and said in a deep voice, Master Yuan, we must not take it lightly. The Hidden Mist village must continue to become stronger. Master Yuan looked at Mei Terumi with some surprise and said softly, Mei Terumi, you have changed a lot these days. But don't worry, no matter how the ninja world changes, the Hidden Mist village must be one of the strongest ninja villages. Mei Terumi sighed softly, I hope so. The Hidden Mist village delegation left. The specific details of the negotiations were not revealed, and even many villagers did not know that the Hidden Mist village delegation had come to Konoha. In recent days, the attention of the villagers of Konoha has been attracted by another thing. Have you heard that there are a lot of rumors about Orochimaru recently? It seems that Orochimaru is involved in some very serious things. Keep your voice down. I heard that Orochimaru seems to be secretly conducting human experiments. How is it possible? Orochimaru is the disciple of the Sandaime. After the Sandaime abdicates, Orochimaru is likely to be the 4th Hokage. Who knows? Anyway, everyone is saying that Orochimaru secretly uses criminals and orphans to conduct human experiments. It can't be groundless, right? I absolutely don't believe this kind of thing. Without Orochimaru, I would have died on the battlefield. Someone must be slandering Orochimaru. In the first few days, everyone scoffed at the so-called rumors. But as time went on, the villagers of Konoha began to have doubts in their hearts. If the matter was false, how could it be spread so widely in Konoha? And, until now, neither the Sandaime nor Orochimaru himself has come out to clarify. Is there really something hidden in this? Hokage building. Hokage office. Shimura Danzo pushed open the door and walked in with a cane. Hiruzen, what do you want me to do? Sarutobi Hiruzen said in a deep voice. Danzo, did you send someone to spread the news about Orochimaru? Shimura Danzo said indifferently, so what? Sarutobi Hiruzen slammed the table suddenly. Danzo, you acted without my consent. Do you want the incident with Hatake Tsukumo to happen again? Shimura Danzo snorted coldly, said disdainfully, first of all, you acquiesced to what happened to Hatake Tsukumo back then. You personally promoted him to the position of Hokage half-sleeve, and watched him fall into the abyss with your own eyes. Secondly, I was just telling the truth about Orochimaru. Looking at Shimura Danzo, who was making a strong argument, Sarutobi Hiruzen took a deep breath. No matter what, Orochimaru is my disciple and one of the candidates for the next Hokage in my heart. Danzo, you have crossed the line this time. Hearing this, Shimura Danzo said firmly, the most you should know that the relationship between Orochimaru and Uchiha Mirai is getting closer and closer, right? Quote, if you let him become Hokage, the Uchiha clan will definitely be able to turn things around. Then won't the teacher and our decades of efforts be in vain? Also, Orochimaru is no longer the civilian genius who had nothing back then. He is now the leader of the famous 3 ninjas in Konoha and has many followers. Now that he is in power, do we still have a say in Konoha? Sarutobi Hiruzen slowly sat down in his seat. What Shimura Danzo said makes sense. Orochimaru now has a high prestige and his own power. Once he becomes Hokage, with Orochimaru's character, he will definitely not be willing to share power with these old guys. In addition, Orochimaru is also entangled with Uchiha Mirai. The most important thing is, he doesn't plan to abdicate now, but the ninjas below have been speculating when Orochimaru will be able to take over as the next Hokage. If this goes on, he will definitely be criticized if he continues to stay in the position of Hokage. Seeing Sarutobi Hiruzen's uncertain expression, Shimura Danzo knocked on his cane. Hiruzen, it was because of your weakness that Uchiha Mirai grew to this point. The same mistake, are you going to make it again? Leave this to me, I will kill Orochimaru and get rid of the ninjas related to him. When the root was first established, it was used to do these things. Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly raised his head, and his momentum burst out without any concealment. Just like a lion suddenly awakened, the strong sense of oppression made Shimura Danzo a little frightened. Danzo, you don't have to worry about Orochimaru. Since you are my disciple, let me sever the bond between us. In the dark and damp underground laboratory, Sarutobi Hiruzen, holding the golden hoop transformed by the Sarutobi demon, led a group of Anbu and blocked Orochimaru in the cave. Orochimaru had cold sweat on his forehead, and his pale face was tired. Teacher, I didn't expect that you were still as charming as before. Sarutobi Hiruzen snorted coldly. Orochimaru, you have gone astray. As a teacher, I have to clean up the door today. Hearing this, Orochimaru licked his lips with his tongue and chuckled. Teacher, are you really going to kill me? After hearing what Orochimaru said, Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression became complicated for a moment. But thinking of Uchiha Mirai and Shimura Danzo, Sarutobi Hiruzen finally didn't say much, and said with a firm look, this is not my intention, but... Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly rushed towards Orochimaru. Everything is for Konoha. Orochimaru flew back and clapped his hands heavily. Boom! Countless detonating tags exploded in the cave, and rocks of all sizes fell from the sky. In just a few seconds, the cave collapsed. After a long time, Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Orochimaru, who had disappeared, with cold eyes. Go and bring Orochimaru back to me. Yes, the Anbu took the order and left, but Sarutobi Hiruzen felt a sense of crisis in his heart. Today he came to kill Orochimaru without telling anyone in advance, but Orochimaru seemed to have made preparations in advance. Not only did he transfer all the relevant experimental materials, but he also arranged detonating tags in the experimental base in advance. After thinking for a long time, Sarutobi couldn't think of the reason, and finally he could only put the blame on Shimura Danzo as usual. If it weren't for Danzo, this fool, how could Orochimaru have made preparations in advance? I must teach this idiot a lesson when I go back. With Sarutobi Hiruzen's statement, Orochimaru's crime of secretly conducting human experiments was completely confirmed. The leader of the 3 ninjas who had made great contributions to Konoha and was respected by everyone, became an S-level rebel ninja who was hated by everyone overnight. This sudden change made all the villagers of Konoha sigh. I didn't expect it to be true. Why would Lord Orochimaru do such a thing? It is absolutely unforgivable that he attacked his fellow villagers. Fortunately, the Sandaime-sama was very perceptive and killed his relatives for the sake of justice. Otherwise, if a guy like Orochimaru became Hokage, Konoha village would be doomed. The Sandaime-sama said that before training a new successor to Hokage, he would continue to work hard for the village and contribute his strength. It's really touching. The Sandaime-sama must be very sad that his successor has such a problem. Such remarks are everywhere. Occasionally, someone raised questions such as, since Orochimaru has a problem, why not choose Uchiha Mirai, who has a high prestige, to become Hokage, but those people will soon disappear in the village. Orochimaru became notorious, and people related to him were investigated one after another. For a time, the people of Konoha were in a panic. In addition, Jiraiya, who had just returned to the village not long ago, chose to leave the village again. After the report, Uchiha Inahiro showed an excited look on his face. Great, Orochimaru's defection is equivalent to a broken arm for the Hokage. Mirai-sama, you are so lucky. Without such a strong competitor, you have a better chance of becoming Hokage. Uchiha Mirai snorted and said lightly, all developments that are beneficial to you are behind the game after careful consideration. As an Uchiha, you will be thankful for something like luck. I can only say that you are not qualified. Hearing this, Uchiha Inahiro was stunned. Did he say something wrong just now? Is it not lucky that Orochimaru, the successor of Hokage, became a traitor and the power of the Hokage has been greatly weakened? Just then, Uchiha Yashara came back from outside. Behind him was a little girl with short blue hair and a yellow coat. Mirai-sama, this girl is called Mitarashi Red Bean. Uchiha Yashara walked to Uchiha Mirai's ear and leaned over to say, Lord Orochimaru has asked you to take care of this child in advance. Uchiha Mirai looked at Mitarashi Red Bean curiously. The girl in front of her looked up, with an unconcealed look of disappointment in her eyes, but she tried to force a smile on her face. She is a girl who never gives up, Uchiha Mirai commented in his heart. After Orochimaru defected, in addition to the test data and ninjutsu scrolls, he also took away many subordinates. However, as a disciple of Orochimaru, Mitarashi Anko was abandoned in Konoha. In such a situation, he tried hard to pretend to be indifferent, which can only be said to be in line with his impression of Mitarashi Anko. If you encounter any troubles or problems in training in the future, you can come to me. Now, I will take you to find some partners, Uchiha Mirai said, stood up and walked outside. Mitarashi Anko snorted lightly. I don't need companions, as long as I have kunai to accompany me. After saying that, she stretched out her pink tongue and licked the sharp kunai. Bang. Ah, it hurts. Don't do this again. HMPH. Why? Uchiha Mirai reached out and roughly rubbed Mitarashi Anko's head a few times. It's strange enough for Orochimaru to do this. You, a girl, will appear more perverted than him. Don't mention that guy in front of me. You can live a stable life now, you should be grateful that he didn't run away with you. Who cares? Quote. Watching Uchiha Mirai and Mitarashi Anko leave one after another, Uchiha Inahori finally came back to his senses from the shock. He looked at Uchiha Yashara in disbelief and asked, Yashara, you said that Orochimaru asked Future-sama to take care of this girl. Uchiha Yashara said as a matter of course, yes. Uchiha Inahiro said in a deep voice, that means Future-sama has already contacted Orochimaru. Uchiha Yashara said impatiently, what do you want to ask? Uchiha Inahiro swallowed his saliva and said in shock, Orochimaru's defection, wouldn't it be related to Future-sama? Uchiha Yashara replied without thinking, nonsense, otherwise why do you think so many people were clamoring to discuss questions like, why can Orochimaru become Hokage, and when will the Sandaime choose to abdicate? Looking at Uchiha Yashara who was walking away slowly, Uchiha Inahiro's mind seemed to be thundered, making his brain buzz. Gurgle. Uchiha Yashara swallowed his saliva, and he seemed to understand what Future-sama had just said. Orochimaru's defection was not so-called luck at all, it was all the plan of the future master. Walking on the streets of Konoha, looking at Uchiha Mirai who had been silent in front of her, Mitarashi Red Bean couldn't help but speak. Hey, where are you taking me? Uchiha Mirai didn't even turn his head and said, first, I'm not called Hey. Secondly, I've already said that I'm going to take you to find some partners. Mitarashi Red Bean was a little puzzled. Why do you want to find partners for me? I don't need those hypocritical ties at all. Hearing this, Uchiha Mirai stopped and whispered, because I don't have time to take care of a brat like you. And, those guys are all very good personalities, you can try to get along with them. Can you please stop calling me a brat, you're not much older than me. Mitarashi Red Bean complained dissatisfiedly, and then asked, did Orochimaru really ask you to take care of me? Uchiha Mirai said lightly, otherwise, what qualifications do you think you have to see me? Mitarashi Red Bean was stunned. It seems to be true. Uchiha Mirai is the hero of the Third Ninja World War, and now he is the captain of the Konoha police force. She is just a genin who has just graduated from the ninja school, and her teacher is the S-level rebel ninja of Konoha, Orochimaru. If it weren't for Orochimaru's request, Uchiha Mirai is indeed not at the level she can get in touch with. Thinking of this, Mitarashi Anko asked in confusion, since you have a good relationship with Orochimaru, why didn't the Anbu arrest you for investigation? After Orochimaru defected, all the people related to Orochimaru were investigated by the Anbu. Catch those who can be arrested, kill those who can be killed. Because she was young and had been with Orochimaru for a short time, she was able to be released so quickly. A ninja like Uchiha Mirai should be the focus of attention, but why was he able to stay safe and sound in this storm? And he dared to bring her with him openly. Looking at Mitarashi Anko's puzzled look, Uchiha Mirai waved his fist. The reason is very simple. Because I am strong enough. Hearing this explanation, Mitarashi Anko was a little surprised. Is it because of this reason? But it sounds ridiculous, but it seems to make sense. Mitarashi Anko clenched her fist and murmured, if I am strong enough, will Orochimaru choose to abandon me? Pa! Uchiha Mirai's palm slapped Mitarashi Anko's head heavily. I tell you again, Orochimaru did not abandon you, he just entrusted you to me. So you will be mine in the future, don't act like this in front of me at such a young age. Mitarashi Anko shrank her neck in pain. She was beaten again. But after hearing Uchiha Mirai's explanation, Mitarashi Anko's mood improved a lot. That's right, if Orochimaru really abandoned her, there would be no need to entrust her to a strong man like Uchiha Mirai. The other party's favor must be something very precious. After walking along the street for a while, Mitarashi Anko suddenly brightened up and hurriedly said, Mirai Sr., please wait a moment. What's wrong? I want to buy a string of 3-color meatballs. Uchiha Mirai nodded, I want to eat too. Mitarashi Anko smiled and agreed, no problem, let me treat you. Arriving at the dessert shop, Mitarashi Anko shouted, Boss, I want 2 strings of 3-color meatballs. Uchiha Mirai took the lead, 10 strings. The smile on Mitarashi Anko's face disappeared. Mirai Sr., 10 strings are a bit too much, right? Uchiha Mirai shook his head, not much at all, I have a good appetite. But, when Mitarashi Anko wanted to say something, the owner of the dessert shop had already packed 10 strings of 3-color meatballs. Thank you, 50 taels. Seeing that Uchiha Mirai had no intention of paying, Mitarashi Anko could only take out her wallet and frowned as she took out a few coins. Welcome to visit next time. Under the smiling eyes of the dessert shop owner, Uchiha Mirai took the 3-color meatballs and walked out. Mitarashi Anko followed behind with her head down. Today's expenses are completely over the limit. But when she thought about being able to eat a few more strings of 3-color meatballs, Mitarashi Anko felt a little psychological comfort. As delicious as always. Uchiha Mirai and Mitarashi Anko ate while walking together, and Mitarashi Anko's string was quickly eaten up. Mirai, give me another string. Da me. For what? I want 9 skewers. Why, that's too much. You were planning to eat only 1 skewer, so you wanted to buy 2. That's what I said, but. So next time you treat me, be more generous. This is a lesson for you. Uchiha Mirai scolded. Also, girls will get fat if they eat too much sweets. Quote. Looking at Uchiha Mirai who walked away without looking back, Mitarashi Anko felt cold all over. It was really too much. It was fine if he asked her to treat him, but he only gave her a string of 3-color meatballs. He also hinted that she would get fat if she ate too much. Mirai's personality is so bad. Please show some ninja hero behavior. Looking at Mitarashi Anko's crazy look, Uchiha Mirai's mouth curled up slightly. It's really pleasant to tease these little lolis occasionally. After walking for a while, the road ahead was suddenly blocked by a crowd. Dozens of villagers gathered at the door of a restaurant, all whispering about something. Seeing this scene, Uchiha Mirai walked over with Mitarashi Anko. A few drunk ninjas are acting crazy again. Alas, such black sheep are so hateful. That's right, a good store was smashed without saying anything. Quote. Luckily I ran fast, otherwise I would have been caught. Why did those guys make trouble? It seems that they didn't bring enough money, and the boss wanted them to write a receipt, so they got angry. They dared to make trouble in broad daylight. Is there no one to deal with it? I just saw the police force go in, but it seems that they can't do anything to the guys inside. These ninjas must be powerful, and the restaurant owner is in trouble now. After hearing the crowd's discussion, Mitarashi Anko was full of indignation. Too hateful, how can there be such bad guys? If you are so hot-tempered, why don't you go to the battlefield and kill more enemies? Quote. But she didn't want to get involved. After becoming Orochimaru's disciple, Orochimaru's first warning to her was, don't meddle in other people's business. So when she encountered something like this, she usually chose to leave quickly. Out of sight, out of mind. Mirai-senpai, let's go first. Mitarashi Anko was about to pull Uchiha Mirai away, but found that Uchiha Mirai had already walked towards the crowd. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.